Warning. Broken simulation. Broken simulation. With Sam Tripoli.
Welcome to Broken Sim. Johnny Woodard. Yeah. There we go. That's the intro, Johnny.
We're in it?
We're in it, Johnny. Johnny, we're in it. Listen, guys, chaos in the show. Ooh. We're all over the place. I was out of town. Johnny's going out of town. We had a whole show for you, but you know what? We wanted to do a fun interview with one of Johnny's childhood heroes.
Not childhood heroes, but one of my favorite people, yeah.
You're childish
creators.
to me, Johnny, so it's your childish.
I appreciate that. I do have boyish good looks. I've been told that many times.
You have little boy energy, okay?
You took it into a weird place.
That's why I did it. That it's Broken Sim. We only get weird, okay? So we have this wonderful thing. I have so many gifts I wanted to talk about, but we invite Van
Neistat.
So that's going to be the show. It's a great interview with a great guy doing the Lord's work, teaching men how to fix stuff.
He's is a guy who came. He had his own HBO show with his brother Casey Neistat, who was the biggest YouTuber on the planet for a very long time.
And that was when HBO was banging.
Yeah. The Neistat Brothers was the name of the show. And then
what year was that?
In the early 2000s, maybe.
Oh, dude, that's back when Red Light Confessionals.
2010 is when we're talking.
That was Game of Thrones. Okay, they were on the same network as Dragons.
And Van Neistat worked with Tom Sachs, one of the most respected and famous artists in the world. Learned his craft from at the feet of a genius.
A genius.
And now has his own YouTube channel about man skills, I would say. It's called The Spirited Man. It's about being a man.
It's about being a manly man, being a man.
Yeah, and then kind of finding your way through this world.
Perfect.
We talk a little bit about what Sam, how he could start, his journey toward
He wants me to build a shelf.
Yeah, build a shelf. Repair the Kawhi Leonard.
We pair the Kawhi Leonard, throw a little bit of baking soda on that.
Yeah.
Just a pinch. Just a pinch.
He's also he rode up on his motorcycle, just like I would imagine, just like I would hope. He left us gifts. Apparently.
Okay, Johnny, why don't we open our gifts right here, right now? XG's acting like he's not here.
Yeah,
no gifts for you, XG. Okay? This is our Kwanzaa gifts he gave us. Johnny, you open yours first.
All right, I'll open mine first. Very thoughtful of Van here. Let's see what we got.
I'm already in love with my gift.
Oh, it's a Spirited Man patch and the needle and thread kit to.
Johnny, you got to do some sewing.
I know how to sew.
Johnny, you should sew yourself that in like you just have a wound and you have to stop the bleeding. You should do that like like on Rambo.
That's the logo for his channel, The Spirited Man. Love that idea. What do you have there?
Johnny,
I know what you have.
Mine hits perfectly. Mine says retard.
Do you know what that is?
He told me what it was, and I can't remember it.
He got that from someone else who got that off of the printing press that printed the New York Times forever. And it had the word retard on it, which he thought was, that's hilarious that they had the word retard on the propaganda of the government.
Johnny, that goes up into the bobblehead. Babylon. Guess what else can go? I'm just because we're here. Babylon. Someone came to my show and gave me a Godzilla figurine.
Looks
from
Japan.
Is that awesome?
Yeah, that does look like an import, right?
God, I love this stuff. I carried it all the way home.
Thank you, Van, by the way. Thank you very much.
Van. And thank you, pregnant guy, and pregnant chick, and her husband who knocked her up for bringing Godzilla. They go, we got a gift for you. And I'm like, you guys get it, dude.
You sure it was her husband who knocked her up?
He would have said something. He would have been something like, good. we were kind of seeing other people at that point, but we got back together. But I'm over it. Kid like mine.
Gotta get that DNA test.
You gotta get as soon as that kid comes out, we're getting the DNA test. No, I offered a lot of people in Tulsa a chance to watch them have sex. And
Didn't you really?
Yeah,
because every time that we hear about somebody coming up genuinely offering that, you pull out.
Dude, nobody has done that, Johnny. They act like they do. They talk a mean game when they're gone, but I'm like, hey, dude, I will watch you power hump, and nobody takes me up.
I've been there.
He has been there, dude. That guy knows I offer free watches. Yep. I watch you. I give you technique. Okay. Do you want to get
Well,
pregnant?
no wonder nobody is taking us up on our offer. You're giving it away. You're giving the product away for free on Patreon.
We had a deal. I could give out one
scholarship.
Yeah, one scholarship.
It's taking you half the show just to open the
Johnny,
Godzilla box.
This is the Japanese. This is how they operate. Okay, dude. So Johnny, I was NXG. You can come on the show as well. Welcome to the show, XG.
What are we doing?
Welcome to the show. I also had me, Tino Sanchez, and and the opener Jake. We went.
I have a knife? May I open that? Can I help
Johnny?
you?
Yeah, I'll never see this again.
He's using a key. I don't give a toss about Godzilla.
Johnny, watch your mouth.
Just chuck me the thing.
Okay, watch your mouth. With the you don't give a shit about Godzilla.
Why don't you're a grown man? Carry a knife.
Why don't I just kick you off the show and move XG to be the co-host?
Do you want a pocket knife? I'll buy you a nice pocket
Buy
knife.
me a pocket knife, and then I'll go on a plane with it, and I'll never be seen again.
Yeah, well, we've both done. I've flown with this blade right here.
Gone through TSA with some stuff. I'm like, how did I get through on that?
Well, you talked about it on Broken Sam. Yeah, we've talked about it.
I'm like, that's a Class A felony. I'm on the run. So we go and find Sam Kinison's.
Oh yeah, I did see that. Yeah.
There you go.
Thank you, Johnny. Sam Ken. Oh, I can't tell you how excited I am about this. Sam Kinison's funeral, his grave. Pretty amazing. Oh, dude, ask me if I'm happy.
Are you happy?
I love that.
Why are you asking me?
Guy gives you a
Of
historical.
course I'm fucking happy.
You get a historical artifact from the printing press of the New York Times, and you're more excited about a Godzilla toy.
Dude, it's gone up to the Babylon. It's there. What more kind of fun can I have than to say I love the retard? Okay? God, Johnny. So I go there, dude. He has the coolest quote. It's like hard to find his grave. So we had to literally use a YouTube video to find his grave.
Oh, really? Are you serious? That's great.
Oh, guys, are you serious right now? Are you serious right now?
Are you serious? It's a Godzilla toy. Of course, I'm serious.
Are you serious?
Who would lie about that?
Which one is that one? Is there generations?
This is the one where he took on King Kong.
The new one though.
No, not the newest one. I think.
But I mean, like, it's not like the old days.
Yeah. Oh, that's so cool, dude. So we went to Sam Kinison's grave,
It's on your Instagram, right?
And it said the coolest
Yeah.
quote, and I'm gonna get tattooed. And Dana's like, "Do not get that tattooed." I go, Dana, you have no say in what I put on my body. Why do you think you have a say?
Okay, I honestly was wondering what it was because you said Sam Kinison's tombstone. Found my new tattoo. I was like, you're not getting Sam Kinison's face on you, right?
No. What I am gonna get is I'm gonna get in another time and place. He would be called a prophet. I just got to figure out where I'm putting it.
There you guys are.
Do you know Kat, who comes to our show?
Yeah.
She's got black hair. She always comes with her Mexican friend. She's a tattoo artist. I may go and get her to tattoo it because I feel like chicks can do the writing better than the guys.
Yeah, you're probably right about that.
Right?
Yeah.
So if you go over one, okay. Yeah.
Burl Kinison. Boy, that's a great middle name.
Burl, dude. If I had a son, I would throw Burl in there for sure.
Burl.
And this is it. In another time and place, he would have been called a prophet. I love that. And apparently your whole thing is to throw change on his thing.
What font? What are you thinking?
I don't know, dude. I'd have to see different
You
ones.
should try to just do that perfectly.
Why? That's not a fun font.
No, but I mean...
And where would I put it like that?
Oh, yeah, you couldn't spread it out like that.
I'm thinking about it right here on my leg. Because I want to put all my animals in on one leg.
Oh, the zoo is going to be one leg. And
All
then the other.
all my dogs that I've had over the years on one leg.
Oh, really? Oh, that's cool, dude.
Yeah, my body is basically a memorial to dead people. I have so many dead people tats on me that I'm going to do it. So that's it.
I like that, though.
So the final thing I want to talk about is that I am losing my bet with Johnny. I am gaining weight. I actually
You're
weighed
gaining
myself.
weight.
I gained 1 pound.
Oh, man.
Yeah, and it's not my fault. I can't stop eating McDonald's. And the reason I'm eating McDonald's is because the chick at the drive-thru has the fattest cans I've ever seen. They are just bazookas, bro. And I'm like, maybe today's the day I save her. Today's the day I get her out of this minimum wage job and let her live her dreams of being an OnlyFans model, dude.
She could be vice president someday. Who knows?
The big bazookas, dude. And you're like, man, what kind of expectations do you have when you're working minimum wage at a drive-thru, dude? That's got to be the best case scenario right there. Anything's up from there, right? You just don't hit her. She's good. She's a happy person. Fat can Sam. That's what I'm looking for. Come on, hang out. I like Dana, get out of the car. Fat can Mexican at the drive-thru. In the car. These are my kids. Help me raise them.
There is something to that. Seeing a girl at a beautiful woman at a drive-thru.
Yeah.
I've seen that.
And you're like, why are you here?
Yeah.
Sam's been with me. It's even worse when it's in like a random ass state where like, oh, I can bring you to Cali and I can change your life.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know, but it gets worse if you come to California because then you're competing with the
other hot
smoke
chicks.
smoke shows.
Yeah. You in your little town, you are important. You are a celebrity.
We would have thought something went horribly wrong, obviously, because you're working the Hardee's drive-through. But
Yeah, well, because that's just normal to them. That's the best. When you meet a hot chick who's normal.
Yeah.
Listen,
doesn't part of you think maybe she didn't play her cards right if she's in like?
Well, that's like chicks when you see hot chicks riding the bus. You're like, okay, you're a little stubborn.
Yeah, something's
you're just
wrong.
being stubborn, right? Like if you're a hot chick and your life sucks, it's directly related to decisions you've made.
Totally,
Right?
that's what I mean.
The universe opens up to you. You could be illiterate from a trailer park. If you look hot in shorts, you have a shot. You have a shot.
Yeah, you obviously haven't crafted your dating profile properly.
Yeah, you just got to get the right sauce, and you're set for the rest of your life. Physical beauty is the quickest move way up the economic scale. It's like if you're a hot chick who's retarded, you can meet a guy who's done something with his life.
Totally. Yeah, girl don't know how to take a selfie though. We got to teach her.
No. You want to turn men on? Don't have a Instagram face.
Oh, this dude. And,
Right?
dude,
Will you ever do that with a girl? I knew a chick that like you would talk to her and she would just talk to you in her Instagram face. I go, what are you doing right now?
Like she has an Instagram face.
You do have an Instagram
So
face.
do you, though.
I do not.
Yeah, you like to.
I have a wacky face for when I take pictures with fans so they remember it and it's funny. That's what I do.
That's what I do.
No. You do.
Well, no. He goes.
What is your face?
All right, this is the end of the intro, guys.
What are you thinking? What are your thoughts when you're doing that face? Like, what is the motivation behind? If you were an actor, what would you say
When
your
did you
motivation?
know that was the face? When you're like, oh, that's the face.
I don't know. It probably got me laid. Probably some girl like I got the most
You
likes.
had the cutest face. Now you're just stuck going for the rest of your life.
Yeah, it's like those science experiments where the animals, the thing they were doing when they got the reward, they just keep doing that thing over and over again. Yeah, totally.
100%. Let's see.
Oh, there it is right
There
there.
it is.
That's with Alex Jones. Yeah, of course I had to do it with Alex Jones.
Yeah, you had to do it with Alex Jones.
Hey, Sam, if you would have been president, what department are you putting Alex Jones in?
Hey.
Alex Jones, that's a great question.
It looks like the Fonzie, right?
I would definitely. Hey, Mexican Fonzie. Hey, look what I found. Hey, I'm surprised too. So crazy.
You guys really didn't think Alex Jones was going to be part of the department? I thought he was going to put him
I
in
think he's
somewhere.
got.
You can't put Alex Jones.
I would love
wish,
him to be
but-
press secretary. He should just rotate people
yeah.
in just to make those people's lives miserable. That would be
That's what the Democrats have done for the past 4 years.
Yeah,
just
but
rotate
we could have
assholes
fun
in.
with it. Yeah, but they rotate in retards.
No, but what I'm saying is they've fucked with the right by rotating in assholes that irritate the right. Why doesn't the right do the same thing?
Yeah, I'm with you, dude. Johnny getting political on the show.
Dude, I've been incredibly political. for the
Johnny,
past
you
month.
have been.
I put it away for a while after Ron Paul. I
I've
lost a
seen
lot
you.
of faith.
Yeah.
But over the past couple of months, dude, just when the Cheneys got, I was like, all right,
Johnny came out. He said enough, and he started going big game hunting.
I came out swinging. Yeah,
Nice, Johnny.
Go follow him on Twitter
was
to catch
irritating.
all
Go
of that.
follow Johnny on Twitter for you
all
just
the
going
blows.
big game hunting.
At Johnny Woodard. Yeah.
At Johnny A. Woodard?
Nope, Johnny Woodard.
Johnny Woodard.
At Johnny
Okay. I don't even know what just happened to this computer. I got to go get a new. Guys, enjoy this episode. It's a fun, crazy conversation.
All right, we rarely have a guest on.
Rarely.
Rarely. Very rarely.
Only the real G's come on.
That's right. Yeah.
We get them in.
People that we are personally interested in. Our guest today is a filmmaker, honest to God artist. He is a craftsman. His name is Van Neistat, and there he is right there.
Van. Thanks for coming on our show.
Oh, thank you. I'm honored.
We haven't been in the studio for a while, so we're glad to be back. We're back with a bang, brother. Thank you so much. We appreciate you coming on. You were just telling us you were in Austin for a big film.
IMI Fest, it's called.
So is that considered a film festival, award
Independent
show?
Media Initiative. It's mostly podcasters and YouTubers.
I love that,
But
dude.
it's like the sophisticated level of
Yeah,
yeah.
the chef kiss of
Yes.
content. That's
Yeah.
great. You said Humans of New York won something.
Yeah, he won.
I love it, dude.
Yeah.
I just think about everyone thinks everything's getting really crazy. I just think it's getting more obvious. Like it's always been this crazy. Just now everyone's got a phone.
Right.
Now we can
Yeah,
see
that's
it,
what I think.
right?
I think so, absolutely. Yeah.
And so for those who may not be familiar with you, can you tell us a little bit about yourself, where they can find you?
Okay, so I think the thing that I'm best known for is I'm Casey Neistat's older brother.
Okay,
And
I
he's
like
like
that.
a huge YouTuber. I saw him yesterday. They find me at the name of my YouTube channel is The Spirited Man.
I love that, dude.
Or my name. It's actually my name, but The Spirit of Man will get you there.
I love that. I think this is like a golden era for that right now.
I think it's a golden era for YouTube.
I think it's a golden era for YouTube. I personally, because we decided to start, but I think you're going to see Twitter make a big
yeah?
run, dude. I think you're about to see a big, because Twitter reminds me of when YouTube, like the golden era for me of internet is about 2015.
Okay.
Like you could find anything you want on the internet, any kind of crazy story, and then just things changed. Twitter seems to be back at that, you know,
Okay.
where you can get everybody's got a view. Everyone's allowed to go on there and have a good time. And all you have to do is figure out the video component, so your videos don't get lost behind
In the feed, yeah.
in the feed of all these tweets, and then it's gonna be prime, dude. But I love YouTube. You know, my kids love YouTube. They're 4. I just wish that YouTube would love me a little bit, and that'd be fine. But
I'm telling you, I've been engaged in an email exchange with them about 2 weeks running now. And I finally got them to where your name, when you search it, the channel comes up first and not 40th
thank
way
you,
down the
bro,
list.
because there were trolls who would talk about, and their stuff would come up first.
Yeah, and dude, they won't admit that they did anything. They're like, well, we didn't do anything. But the first guy I contacted said, oh, see, your channel does come up. And he scrolled down 40 results. And then the next guy I talked to said, no, your channel comes up first. So clearly they did something, because I've been
Yeah.
checking it monthly for 2 years.
It is what it is.
It's fixed now,
I've
though,
come
at
to
least
accept
that.
it. But I want to get into the man stuff, because
Yes.
I think the man stuff is like, I think we've had a crisis for men in this day and age, as we were talking earlier about everybody going into digital, going into like, video directing and all that stuff, the internet. The man skills
Yeah.
and stuff like that seem to be, kind of
I
going
think they
away.
got kind of lost with the millennial generation, because for the millennials, everything just sort of migrated to one gadget. And now the Gen Z generation, they've only had their whole life. They
life.
haven't had an alarm clock. They haven't had a flashlight. They haven't had a magnifying glass. They haven't had all the gadgets that are the little icons on our phones.
You may remember this. I told somebody, I remember a time when television would turn off. They would play the flag and then the national anthem, and then there would be no TV until like 6 a.m. I remember that.
I don't
That's
think
how-
I was ever old enough to be up late enough for that to happen.
Maybe I
'cause
just
I'm,
had
like,
bad
I'm 3 years
parents. I don't
younger than
know,
you.
but that's how I remember a time without the internet.
We would buy like used, like if we were in a TV emergency, we would buy like used black and white televisions. Do you remember that?
Johnny did that for a while
They
there.
only played like.
That's so great. I remember black and white televisions.
And do you remember you could take an index card if you had regular cable with the box on the roof of your
Yeah.
TV, and you could take an index card and bend it like 3/4 of an inch, and then slide it into one of the seams of the cable box and pull it a little bit, and you could maybe get the lines on the Playboy channel
That's
to move
so
a little
funny.
tiny.
Think about what that means. You got to see some squiggly titties, possibly.
It was so hot. It was so great.
hot.
Oh, it was great.
It was
You
so
fancy,
hot.
you fancy city boys and your cables.
Yeah.
We had nothing. I had my dad's Atari for the first 15 years of my life.
Oh, yeah.
I
Where did you grow up?
North Carolina in the boonies.
Where'd you
I
from?
went to a vocational agriculture high school.
Dude.
Oh, no shit. Okay.
man,
Yeah,
if
yeah.
I could get my kids into that, I'd do it right now.
Yeah, it's probably the program's probably been eliminated.
They've been talking about how like women carry 70% of the debt in this country, and it's because they go to college. They're more of them going to college, and they're graduating with a bunch of college debt. And I'm
I
like,
think that's gonna change.
get it. So I had this gig out in Tulsa, Oklahoma this weekend. It was great. You know, I got murked by the Jake and I got murked. They killed me. I got knocked out.
Everybody was watching that.
Too huge, because then it was John Jones.
Saturday
the
night
next
was
night.
fine.
Oh, it was? Okay.
It was a cultural event that night, and my
yeah.
numbers weren't great. They weren't bad. They just weren't great. But, you know, it's like I was out there. So anyways, the point of that is like there was a guy in the audience who's a big fan of my show. And he's like, I'm like, what's going on? He's like, I can't find a job. I go, well, what are your skills? He's like, I'm trying to do this. I'm like, do you have any man skills? And somehow I connect with this guy in the front row. He runs he has a plumbing business, and he's going to give that guy an internship to learn how to be a plumber.
great.
Right?
Plumbing is the one that we all say when we're making an example of people who make a lot of money.
Electricians as well.
Plumbers and electricians, because if we own homes, we know how much and how hard they are to get.
And it's never going to go away. I feel like AI is going to be, that's going to be the last of
They're
them.
never going to replace They're never going to replace roofers. AI. There will never be AI.
The manual shit is the good shit.
Yeah.
And that's why I think we need to get back to.
That
I think they're starting. There's been a bunch of articles like in Wall Street Journal about how Gen Z, like the cool thing now for like the children of us, the children of like people who work in Silicon Valley, they watch their moms and dads just spend their entire lives on screens with a mouse, and they're becoming like electricians and welders and so forth, and like that's kind of who my crowd is.
I love that.
I discourage them from going into YouTube and the media and stuff. I say no, don't do it.
Don't start a channel?
No, I mean if you are a someone who works with your hands, start a channel, but don't. As a career, I'm sorry, you've missed the boat.
Yeah.
There's 30 million YouTube channels.
Yeah.
Well, that was my generation. There was famously a study done that revealed most of them wanted when they grew up to be famous. No career, not for anything, just famous, and which could include infamy.
I think that sort of died, though. I think
my
famous
generation
people is like, I think it's not a big thing anymore.
How old are you, Johnny?
I'm 38, about to be 39.
All right, so we're about 10 years apart, but you are a millennial.
Yeah, elder
You're like an
millennial.
elder
And you
millennial.
are
I'm Gen X, just like you.
I listen, my mother says she got the last of the greatness.
Okay.
I think we got the last of the greatness. We got
Everybody thinks
that late 80s, early 90s when everything was just fire.
Yeah, you got hair bands and grunge. That's
we also
hip-hop.
got hip-hop, rap,
Yeah, and Air Jordans.
heavy metal, Jordan.
we still have Air Jordans. They're just $300.
Yeah, but we invented them.
Yeah, and we got to see the guy whose name's playing them.
Yeah.
He's Gen X, man.
Yeah.
MJ.
I think it's great, but it's like,
Have you read the books? Have you read the Fourth Turning?
no.
That's the guy who invented Gen X. I'm pretty sure he came up with that
I'm
name.
always like, who names these generations?
No, he invented millennials, but he talks about the different personality archetypes for each generation. So we're a nomad generation, and you're not going to like this, his generation, hero generation. It's the same generation.
What do you mean by that? That could mean a lot of stuff. Hero. That could be like, I'm going to be a hero to other people.
No, it's just the archetype for that generation. It's just that it doesn't mean that they're all heroes, but like the GI generation where they were in the like history block, there's like 80-year history blocks that repeat themselves. Yeah. And the last history block, the World War II generation, was his slot.
Oh, interesting.
And we were like Gen X, like in his day, George Washington was Gen X. Yeah. In his day, like I think Eisenhower was Gen X.
Oh, that's so interesting. So they just repeat themselves.
Every 80 years.
Wow.
You love conspiracy theories. This isn't a conspiracy theory.
It's called?
It's just a way that they organize history, these historians.
I'll read that.
So that you can remember when all the shit happened.
Yeah.
You get everything confused.
I'll totally read that.
It has some predictive power, too.
Oh, and he predicted, oh my gosh. He had this book called The Fourth Turning. It came out in 1997, so it was written in 96. He predicted September 11th. He predicted COVID. He predicted the Ukraine It's unbelievable. In the back, it's like some predictions, and it's like, oh my God, like 5 out of 6
unreal,
of these came true.
When did this book come out?
97.
97.
Yeah.
I love buying.
It'll blow your mind.
I was so close to buying a Bible from the 1500s. And I was on it, and it was available, and somebody was on the website at the exact same time and bought it at the exact same time because they thought I bought it. I was on the line when we were going, "Hey man, what's going on? I'm trying to buy this." Like, okay, here, just do it. Okay, he thought I bought, but because I love reading stuff before there was kind of consolidation of everything,
Okay.
and manipulate. I like hidden history is my favorite stuff, but like this comes out in the '90s. That's kind of before they deregulate or they more regulate or deregulate, whichever one it was.
Well, yeah, the printing press had a lot more meaning.
Yeah, I mean, it was just crazy. But the reason I bring that up because I have this book right now. Somebody told me to get, and it's about the Book of Revelations. Like just these priests were talking about in the 1920s in Germany.
Yeah.
And already I'm only 17 pages in, and I'm already like, this guy's talking about the mystery schools. And I go, I thought the Christianity didn't want anything to do that. And you're like, here they are having a meeting about Christianity, talking about mystery schools.
I don't know what that is. What is that?
The mystery schools are the old gods from way back in Babylon and all that stuff with like the occult, what they talk about. Not to get too conspiratorial, but I just find it's like, I think we were getting corralled into certain things. In reality, it's like our world and is so much more interesting and mystical and magical, and that they don't want us to believe in any of that stuff.
By the way,
No.
1930s rolled around. They must have felt like they chose the right subject to study, huh? Revelation, those guys. I bet they all thought the world was ending.
Well, especially in Germany, just
Yeah,
after
that's what I
World
mean,
War One, and they're just having this meeting where this guy's breaking it all down. Oh man, it's so interesting,
It is.
and just getting down and reading. Like I love to read, even though I'm not the best at it. I'm just looking up words like what, and this guy's just having a conversation, and I have to look up words that he's saying. It's crazy to me, but it goes back like, are we missing certain skills? Like to be
Well,
able.
what about like apprenticeship? That's just completely died. I mean, my dad he went to study welding with someone who was, my dad's a blacksmith, he shoes horses, and he had years that he was just working for another man
and that's a
and learned his
loss.
trade.
The patience to learn the skill before you make the money.
Right, exactly, yeah.
The internet and like American Idol is like, no, go right to it. Skip all of it. And I do really feel like, what's her name? Kelly Clarkson. She seems to be able to be one of them that has held on to it for a long time.
Yeah.
But it's like, I'm sure
They don't show you the 10 years of pain
I'm
that
sure you-
every one of those contestants went through before they went on that show.
Yeah, 100. It's like this overnight thing, and like that is the worst part of it.
Yeah.
I talk to all my comedian friends. We'll talk comedy forever. Never talking about the theaters they're playing. They're always talking about, I was at this open mic. I did this shitty gig. We went and did all, and now you're cutting all that out.
I loved hearing all that. Like I started listening. I guess the first podcast I started listening to was Mark Maron.
Yeah.
And I had no idea there was like a technical side to stand up. And I've mostly listened to stand ups podcasts, and some of them I like better than their work.
Oh, I get
You know
told
what
that
I mean?
all the time. I love Sam's podcast. I'm not a fan of his comedy, and I get it because my podcast is, I don't know, more. Well, how would you describe it?
It's more accessible, maybe? Is that what you mean?
No, it's
Less-
just the opposite of well-crafted, multi-layered dick jokes, which
Yeah.
I tend to do. Which
Yeah,
that's
but
just my sense of
But you
humor.
guys
get
are the
dark.
best artists, and you have the least amount of shit. You just have a microphone, which blows. Like if you're a filmmaker, you have all these fucking things that you can trick everybody with. But you guys have a microphone. That's it. And sometimes you don't have a microphone, and then you guys take the longest to develop. I was listening to like Louis C.K. Shane Gillis was on Louis C.K. and he's like, how long you been doing it? And he's like, I don't know, 10, 12 years. He's like, oh, so you just started.
Just when people tell
Like,
me they're
whoa.
like 9 years, I go, okay, you got a year until you just begin. Just think about what else takes 10 years being a doctor.
Yeah.
Because you're learning literally Jedi mind tricks. You're learning how to mentally manipulate people, manipulate energy, manipulate in just your cadence alone. And the greats are like cult leaders, and they just get you thinking like one.
Yes.
And that's why when a comic stumbles over his words, everybody wakes up. And then he's got to put him back into the trance. And then you start thinking like he's thinking, boom, boom. And Shane Gillis is the best at it because, I mean, a master, and I mean this in all love and respect, the master of keep it simple, stupid.
Yeah.
He takes very advanced shit and makes it so simple to digest to the point that he sometimes doesn't even have to say the punchline and people are laughing.
Yeah.
You could really
Oh, yeah.
study his style.
Oh, yeah,
I love studying styles of comedy. I love it. I'm like a real nerd dork when it comes to that.
Yeah. I think all y'all are.
I love it, dude.
Yeah.
I love the art of it. The business side is what I hate.
We all do.
Yeah, well,
We're
you know,
artists.
if I could put out a tweet and sell out, I probably would love the business side too. But it's the constantly working and all that stuff. But it's like killing in a room full of strangers. There's no better feeling in the
My
world.
God, I'll never know it.
I've had some weird shit. Like I've done some great stuff, party wise with the ladies. Nothing compares to killing in a room of just complete strangers.
Oh my
Any
God.
impulse to do live events, Van?
Yeah, I have ideas to do live events, but I'm like, so there's this movie called Stalker. Have you ever seen this movie? It's a Tarkovsky, like a Russian film.
Yes,
you have seen it?
yes,
I have not. He has.
I saw it in college. Yeah.
Okay,
It's been
so
a long time.
a
but yeah.
stalker is like, it's sort of like a metaphor for artists. So a stalker is this guy who can go into this mystical place, like this, where like aliens landed and left this thing called the room. And he brings you into the room, and then in the room, you are confronted by your real, true soul's desire,
I
whether you
love
like
that.
it or not.
I love
And
that.
so the movie starts, he's doing like, he's guiding this one group of people who want to go into the room, but they've heard rumors about the last guy he brought into the room. And the last guy he brought into the room was a philosopher. And so what happened was he goes into the room. After he gets out of the room, and you also, I think you get the desire if you go into the room. And then after he comes out, it turns out just everybody just wants money. Like you go in there and it's just
there's nothing deeper.
That's it.
It's like I just wish I could get paid more.
He's making it in communist Russia, granted. But like I'm in that phase of my like career. You know, I'm going into 50. I got kids too.
Yeah.
And like I burned a lot of energy and a lot of time. Like I always worked really hard. I'm a workaholic. And it's just now starting to bear fruit. And my brother's this really rich multimillionaire kid who's younger than me. He works harder than me and he's smarter than me. That's why he's richer than me. It's very basic.
And it's just like we talk about this all the time. It's just everyone's got different energy.
Yeah.
And you can lose your mind trying to go, why aren't I where they are? You could
you can't do
lose
it.
your effing mind, dude. And we
can't
call
do
it I call it the Elvis factor. He calls it the Hitler factor. I call it the Elvis factor. And it's just this thing where sometimes people are just drawn to you. You just don't know why it is. It's just they're drawn and you're on your own journey.
Yes.
But you know, and it's your brother, so you love him and all
Yeah.
that stuff. I knew a guy who was who's a friend of mine. I love him very much, but he was roommates with Vince Vaughn, and he wanted Vince Vaughn's career.
Yeah.
And it just never was that. He had a absolutely amazing career, but there's only been like 20 Vince Vaughns ever
Right.
in the history of cinematography.
Yeah.
So it's like literally winning the lottery.
Yeah. We've all won.
We've all won.
We've all won. And it's wonderful. But you know, you get focused on
what you
focused.
don't have.
My mentor says, don't talk about money in public. He says it don't talk about it on my channel because you think about a lot of the people who listen to us, you think about
what they're going through.
I can't imagine how hard it is out there.
Yeah.
right?
Oh, it's crazy.
It
out
looks
there. But that's why I love
miserable.
what you represent, and you know, it's like the skill set you're talking about. You know, me, I was never going to work in a corporation.
Right.
It was never going to happen.
Yeah.
I just can't work in a corporation because there's just this, you got to follow rules that maybe you don't think are the proper rules. And I've always been, from the moment I started doing stand-up comedy, I ran my own rooms and I ran it the way I wanted to because I always felt if the show goes great, everyone's going to take credit for it. If the show crashes and burns, I'm going to take all the blame. So therefore I have to do it the way I want to do it. And my whole thing has always been, I have this show at the Comedy Store called Comedy Chaos, and it's kind of changed the game over there. Everyone's doing what I do, and I'm okay with that because I like to take care of people. And I've always been like, give money away, people will come, and they'll run through brick walls if you take care of them. It's a big thing. Our whole society is based on scarcity. You're always told there's only so much of this, so many days to live, so much wealth, so much opportunity, so much all that, and it's just a lie.
It's not real. This is the insane. There's oceans of money out
Yes.
there. Oceans of money. And if people connect with you, they will just help you. There's that Bob Dylan line, everybody will help you discover what you set out to find.
I think you're on, like with kids, right? Like you always want to be the best dad you can be, but you also have to understand that your child is on their journey. And I feel like as a parent, if you shield your children from trauma, they'll reach who they're supposed to reach.
I say that the only thing you really have to do is feed them and protect them from trauma.
Yeah.
That's what I say.
Yeah, I think children are a blessing, and I think our job is to teach them the skills to achieve their best thing and take chances and go out. And then that's really what it is. And, you know, I also think there's a part of us that it's meant to stop the generational trauma.
Yeah, that's right.
I grew up with wonderful parents, not perfect at all.
Okay.
My mother did the best she could, and my father definitely did the best he could.
Yeah.
And I'm thankful for all the mistakes my father made. Because I saw myself about to start to do that. Raising children is super paranoid. My parents are both super paranoid people.
Okay.
In recovery, it's called king baby.
Yeah.
It's like super ego, super sensitive at the same time. It's a very hard way to go through life. And I started seeing myself become that person. I was like, okay, I'm not going to do that.
Yeah.
I'm going to let go. Going into like judging your insides by someone else's outsides, kind of let that go. And my goal is to teach that to my children. It's like nobody's thinking about you. Nobody's out to get you.
Right.
If they do something to you, it's probably a drive-by, and they're doing it to everybody.
Yeah.
And you can't take any of that personal.
Are they in school?
We got them into school early, which
Yeah.
I was very sad about.
Yeah.
I'm like, we're already losing them.
Everything is sad. When they move out of their crib, it's sad.
It is.
For me. I mean, we're sensitive people.
Yeah, I have.
It's all-
I'm so sad. I brought them back to their old playground that they used to go when they were just little babies.
Yeah.
It was called Munchkins back then. That's why I always called my kids Munchkins.
Yeah.
Now, they changed the name. Still ran by my people, the Armenians. Armenians have indoor playgrounds in the valley on lockdown.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
That we run that shit.
Kids Empire? You ever
Kids,
go there?
oh yeah, I love Kids Empire, dude.
Place rules.
Just let them go. Hope and pray.
Yep, give them some tokens for the little motorcycle
Yeah,
thing.
dude, it's the best.
Oh, it's the
just
rules.
wasting out. Your whole thing is just to tire out your kids.
Yeah.
You're
yeah.
tired out your kids. Like
Yeah.
my two greatest, I've done drugs, done the craziest stuff, had the best time. There's nothing that feels better than when a 4-year-old goes to bed. I'll tell you that right now.
Oh, yeah.
It's the best feeling in the world.
Yeah.
And then my next thing is getting my kids to school on time is the best feeling ever.
Yeah.
Because in LA, if you're late, you have to sign in and give them a reason.
Oh, really?
That is a man skill. Being on time. I made a video called
Yes,
Your
you
Tardy
did.
Friends Suck.
I saw it. It hurt me.
And it was just relentless. And I was like, you are allowed to be late for an individual once per year.
Yes.
You are allowed to be late for anything in your life once per month. You're allowed to be late once a month for anything.
I'm with you.
One time. You have one ticket. Not once for picking up blah, blah, blah. Not once for blah, blah, blah. No, once. And then there are these. And then my close friends, especially like my program friends, if I'm waiting for them and they're late, I'm busy. And then they're single.
Yeah.
And they don't have a wife.
I'm with you.
I will send them that video. I will send them a link to that video
Are
that
you
says Your
serious?
Tardy
So
Friends
funny.
Suck. Yeah.
That is so funny, dude. And I'm totally with you.
But
Oh,
that
and
is a man
the
skill.
video
Being on
hurt me.
time,
It hurt me.
it's an art. It's like to get here on time, like, first of all,
Thank you.
I almost forgot. I was
thank
like,
God you
I
did.
almost forgot. And then I was taking my coat. I was like putting my coat on the coat rack. And I was like, don't forget to pack the card in your coat that has the names of the recipients of the award place in case you need to mention them. And I was like, wait, you have to go to the podcast.
That's so
And
funny.
That's so funny.
Thank God that was at like noon. So I had plenty of time to like.
Yeah, well,
but
depending
that's
on
why I rode
traffic,
my
yeah.
motorcycle. Because if I had driven my car,
You
I
would be-
wouldn't.
yeah.
I wouldn't have made it on time. But I fucking.
Do you miss
raced.
pandemic traffic?
I sure did.
Oh man, give me a black plague every 4 years
I can
where I can
say
just get
this
around.
now.
No way.
I can say this now, but I loved the pandemic.
Oh,
I couldn't say it in the olden days because my friends were living in New York and it really sucked.
Yeah.
I live in Topanga Canyon.
Yeah.
There was no traffic. It was
None.
quiet.
It was the best.
And we were just like, well, all we want to do is never leave here anyway. There's 3 state parks on my road.
oh wow.
And then just like I would just take I had only one kid at that time, and we just would have, he was really into culverts. So we'd just go and explore all the, the pipes that go under the road. We would just go and explore all
that's awesome.
Yeah. I really indulge. My fatherhood is philosophy is I'm trying to figure out, my daughter's only a year old, so not
You
yet.
have one kid?
I have two. I have a boy and a girl.
How old?
6 and 1.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And so I'm trying to figure out with the boy, I'm trying to feed him, like, what's his obsession going to be? So I try to expose him to a variety of stuff. And then when he gets into something, I try to really indulge him. But nothing's really quite taken yet. But that's what I think. But it was really fun when he was really into culverts. Like, there's a culvert. Oh my God. There's a culvert. He's gone through culverts when he was, like a year or two old. He could walk in them standing up. We were in Ojai, and he went into a culvert, and then I kind of army crawled in to get him and pulled him out. And when we got to the end of the culvert, hanging from the top of a culvert, fucking black widow spike.
Oh my God!
We've killed either 4 or 5 rattlesnakes in my yard.
Jeez.
There's been 5.
And how do you kill
scorpions in the kids' play toy boxes?
I don't have time for that. I just
There's scorpions in Topanga Canyon?
Oh
I
yeah,
didn't know
we've
that.
got everything. We have a bear in Topanga Canyon.
What?
Shit.
Yes, destroyed, knocked over every garbage can in the neighborhood, and then I went and found on my run and found the bear prints, and took a picture. I don't think it's that big of a bear. Its paw print was about the size of my hand.
Okay.
I was at when I was buying guns right before the pandemic started.
Yeah.
I was sitting down signing the paperwork. I go, "What's that gun?" He goes, "That's a bear gun."
A bear gun?
Was
That's all
it
he
a
said?
rifle?
It was just a giant one. He goes, "The kickback is insane, dude.
Oh, man.
But you'll take them right out." I'm like, "Do I want that gun? Do I want a bear gun?
Yeah.
Just in case some shit hits the fan."
I work with this guy named Braxton Haugen. He was born in 2000. He's been a professional filmmaker since he was 10 years old.
Wow.
His dad is a famous hunter. And so Braxton he learned to edit when he was 6 or something. And when he was 10, I think his dad was sponsored by Cabela's. I might be butchering this whole thing. But so Braxton would edit the Cabela's hunting video. He had the skills to edit videos. And he said his dad had to fake his signature because he's under 18. He's under 16.
so
It's child
funny,
labor.
dude.
It's illegal. But anyway, Braxton is just he's gorgeous. He's tall. He kind of looks like a tall Bob Dylan, a tall, handsome Bob Dylan, black
Like Bob
Irish.
Dylan's kid, who looks like a really good
Jacob
looking.
Dylan?
Yeah, he
I
looks
saw them
like
at
Jacob
concert,
Dylan.
actually.
Yeah.
Black Irish with dark hair, but
Yeah.
the blue eyes. He's
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah, yeah.
And but he's he looks just like a Brooklyn hipster. He's literally a killer.
Yeah.
And when his father was 20 something, I want to say under 25, he was deputized by the State Department or the
Oh, I want
Department of
that
the
so
Interior because a man-eating polar bear was loose in some city in Alaska, killing people, and you only Native Americans are allowed to kill a polar bear, so they had to deputize him as a marshal or something this. So they flew him to DC, they deputized him, and then he went and he fucking killed a polar bear.
Damn, bro.
Those things are 1,000 pounds.
Yeah.
They're huge, yeah.
That is crazy,
Pretty
and I want
badass.
that life.
Yeah, it's
And if you kill a polar bear, if you kill a bear, you get to wear those claws on
Oh,
the necklace,
yeah.
in the Revenant. Remember,
Yeah.
it's like a badge.
Yeah.
Some guys have the fucking mountain lion claws. Who gives a shit? But then you got those grizzly claws on that necklace.
Killing
They
a
know.
polar bear too. I wonder if Al Gore cried that night. This was we lost another one. Ah!
And to do it square like that, like a real hunt,
So when we talk man skills,
Yeah, polar
do
bear
we-
killing is definitely.
is
a
that
man's
on there?
skill.
What are we talking about? Are we talking manners? Are we talking?
I think it's okay. So there's this book. I stole this term from my channel's called The Spirited Man, and I stole that phrase from a book called Shop Class as Soul Craft by Matthew B. Crawford. And I read this book maybe in 2009 or so. And it's a book written by a bookworm, wrench head. Like a guy who I think he got a PhD from University of Chicago, and then he started working for think tanks, and he's like, this is killing my soul. So he rented a little basement and started restoring old BMW motorcycles. And it's just about,
I want that so
there's
bad.
there's this like one of these old Greek guys, he said that it is by having hands that human beings are the most intelligent of animals.
Yes, you're right.
And so and the spirited man, by his definition, is basically a spirited man is a person, could be a woman too, is a person who takes care of their own business. You know, like if your car is broken, can you get going, or can you know? Like I have a fucking dirt bike on the back of my truck. I have 2 dirt bikes. I have my little
You're
kid's
ready for
dirt bike.
everything.
So if the thing breaks down, and I'm running late for a podcast, then I can just jump on. It's an electric dirt bike.
You're
Just jump on.
ready.
And
You're
same with my
ready.
kids. Something happens, but then I know if that dirt bike breaks, I know how to do certain X, Y, Z, and it all comes from like when we were little kids in our house. My dad's a Jew. You know, Jews aren't known for being handy.
Oh, I love
Although
that.
I know extremely handy Jews.
Yeah.
So but you know the
The
stereotype.
ones that are handy are handy.
Yeah, the stereotype. So everything was broken in our house. So if you wanted to, and it was just by, sheer force of will, if you wanted to, if you wanted the bike to work, that's on you. You know, there's no bike shop in town. And so it was just like by will. My brothers have it too, like this ability to fix. But I'm the poorest one of the 3 of us, so I'm the one who can fix things the most because I need to the most.
You're the other
I'm
Peyton
also the
Manning
oldest.
brother. You're the other Manning brother.
Yeah, but he won a Super Bowl too,
Well, he's
didn't
Eli. Yeah, he's Eli. That's
No, no.
Oh, no. Oh, yeah.
No.
The ages are different, but
yeah.
he's Eli.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I'm sorry, dude. I'm one of the few people that would take Eli over Peyton
he? Oh yeah.
Well, that's crazy.
because I feel that Eli was better in the
Crunch time?
playoffs.
Do you have a superstar brother?
No, well, my brother's superstar, but
Yeah.
my brother's
not
one of those
famous.
guys. No, dude, he could do anything he was. He was like the
Yeah.
number 1 high school bowler in New York State, and then like one of the best golfers I've ever seen in my life. And just one day he's like, "Man, I want to do that."
Yeah.
And he's on his journey right now, which I'm watching. Like, okay, how's this gonna end? Because he's like, I'm not worried about my career. I'm not worried about anything.
Older, younger?
Younger, like
Younger,
by
okay.
2 years.
Yeah, are you the
genetically
oldest?
superior.
Same,
My
same.
brother is better looking.
Same.
Hung more. I mean, everything. You name it.
I don't know about that. I mean,
One day we had a measuring with Jason Randolph, and I had the smallest. I'm like, okay, dude, this is my
you are
cross.
Guts of a lion, man.
Yeah, I mean, we just got.
That's my own private business.
No, dude, I put it out there because if I'm gonna make fun of everybody, I got to be real honest about my weaknesses. I have 2 kids, so my gun's fine.
Right.
I don't.
Right.
Once
Me
you
too.
have kids, it's like, hey, dude, I'm good.
Yeah, yeah.
I've stopped wearing jeans. I just wear like that's all I wear. But I call it business pajamas. Once
What
you have
about if you
kids-
get a boner? What do you do?
I don't care.
You know?
I really don't. I really don't care. So when we get in, so I think about this all the time. Like,
Yeah.
Like, I take martial arts. I love martial arts.
Okay,
I love
man skill.
like Thai boxing,
Yes.
jujitsu's my stuff.
Yeah.
I like Krav Maga.
Okay.
I just have, sometimes I don't like how it's taught, but there's schools. You go to school, you practice with other people, and then you spar. And like I've always watched boxing. I go, why doesn't boxing take the business model of martial arts schools? So if I take this, why isn't there a man school I can go to?
Yes.
Like this week, we're gonna learn how to work on
Like for adults, right?
Yeah, for
I
adults.
think I want to do this.
Dude,
I think I want to be that guy.
You start it. I
Yeah,
will
I
be your
think I want
first
to.
student, and we just every
Yeah.
week,
Yeah.
you pick what we're gonna learn.
I don't know. It's my biggest regret. I don't know martial art, but my son, that's like
Bro,
the
I
most
didn't start
consistent
jujitsu
thing.
till
He
I was
started when
15.
he was 4. My boy.
What Taekwondo?
No. Jiu-jitsu. Gracie Barra.
Oh my God!
He's gonna be
Imagine
killing it,
being
yeah.
4.
And I've seen him in street fights. My boy.
At
And
6?
he's vicious. And he de-escalates. I've seen him on a
I
playground
want
with
my
a
kids
stranger,
so bad.
straight up street fight, just throwing blows to the face and then just choking the kid out and then getting up and leaving him alone. The kid still goes back for more and over. And then after, when we were leaving the playground, he was like, "Bye, Franklin." They were, but it was
He's raising
it was a
Jason
little,
Bourne,
it was just a
bro?
little,
What do
it
you-
was just a
that's
little buddy
see,
thing.
I have daughters, and I have these dreams for them. Their mother wants them in jiu-jitsu as well.
Yeah.
I'm just sensing it's not going to be her thing.
It's not his thing. It's kind of it's the most important thing to me.
No, I'm
like
gonna teach
fuck
them,
school.
'cause
I'm like fuck school.
nobody stops fights
you
in
know
school.
you know it.
Nobody
You can
stops
teach
fights
him.
in schools. Nobody stops.
nobody stops.
Nobody stops
Nope.
them. So it's just like they're all trying to get a viral moment of you getting clocked.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I want my daughters to get in jiu-jitsu. My Eddie Bravo's my best friend. He always says around 5, I think, is the
Okay.
best time. So the
Okay.
fact that your kid's already in it is absolutely
He's a gray
insane.
belt. The other gray belts are like 7, 8. They're big. Some big kids are,
My buddy Mike Romanelli's like that. We have a club in New Jersey, and
Mm-hmm.
his kids are both murderers. Like
Really?
his
How old are
daughter, his daughter's like 13 now.
Yeah.
she's like got a black belt in
Wow, at
karate.
13?
Yeah, she got black belt in karate.
Wow.
And she's crushing people.
Wow.
His wife is too. She's
Wow.
great, and his son is like his son set the record for most hours at the school because his mom works there. So he would just sit there and roll all the time.
Wow.
But yeah, that's my dream.
Wow.
That's my dream. But going back, like this month we're gonna work on cars. This month we're gonna work on building shit,
Yes.
basic building
wood,
blocks.
steel.
Yes.
Yeah. Fires.
That would be the best
outdoor.
business out there.
Yeah.
We're gonna teach you for.
Yeah, I mean, the schools have abdicated their responsibilities. Like shop class is gone, right? I mean, that's
I
not
can't believe
the school
this.
I came from is gone.
I'm totally prepared for my daughters to be like, I don't want to go to college. Good. What is your skill set?
I'm strongly discouraging college.
I am
Maybe
too.
for my daughter. I
No,
don't
here's
know,
what you
but-
do: buy an apartment.
Yeah.
Near campus.
Yes.
Live the college life without the college like.
This is my last
debt.
video that I made. The last video I made, it was called "What I Would Do If I Was Starting Out Now," and it's
Yeah.
essentially if I'm 18 now, but I have the brain. I don't have any of the physical skills that I have now, but I have the brain that I have now.
Yes.
I have all the wisdom that I have now.
Yes.
And this is what I would do. 18, I'm graduating high school. I'm living with my dad in Waterford, Connecticut, and his wife. I'm gonna work for. I think it'll take me a year. I'm gonna save $10,000. I'm not paying rent.
Yeah.
So I don't think it's that hard to save $10,000. Then I'm gonna buy one of those utility trucks, which is like the pickup truck with the tools, the toolboxes built into the
Yep.
built into the bed. And this is the scariest part. I'm moving to a college town. I'm
This is
19,
18,
I'm
19-year-old.
I've worked a year for a contractor, so I know the basics. And then I'm moving to Athens, Georgia,
Respect.
where the University of Georgia is.
Yeah. Got to have a nice campus. Florida State's
And the
Tallahassee.
economy of a college, and it's not a big college town. It's not
Yeah.
New York.
Yeah.
It's like the college is the only thing that there is.
Yeah.
Chapel Hill.
And so your clientele is college, like the fraternities. They need shelves to
Yeah,
be built.
yeah.
The sororities, they
Yeah,
need shelves to be.
yeah.
And my business would be just shelves, just building custom shelves that are 4 inches long, custom shelves for an entire,
Yes.
blah, 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 blah.
If you're listening at home, that's the skill set.
Just do it.
And a
You'll
buddy
make
of mine,
money.
Scott Armstrong, sober guy, he just moved to Nashville and just was like, I need a gig. Just became a handyman,
Hmm.
watching videos, fixing stuff. I'm like, dude, that's the coolest thing
Is
I've
he
ever
doing
heard.
okay? Is he
Yeah, he
making
says he's
good money?
crushing it.
Oh, good.
Again, I'm like,
And then your creativity shit, you just make videos and Instagram and stuff about this amazing, beautiful, blah, blah, blah. You're 20. You can build stuff. You're in Athens, Georgia. Those Georgia girls are beautiful.
Beautiful,
You're going to crush. And you're in the town with them.
Kansas City's a nice place to live too.
Fine.
Kansas City, I hate the football team because I'm a Raiders fan. But I mean, if you go, dude, you're not looking to be in show business. You just want to live a regular life. Where you want to move to? It's either San Diego or Kansas City. Kansas City's a great place if you're trying to find a really hot chick who just wants to be a wife.
Yeah, it's probably not even that expensive, right?
Nope.
Wow, here we go.
You
Where
made a-
did you grow up?
Upstate New York.
Okay.
Then I
I
went to
get that
Vegas for
vibe.
5 years.
Yeah.
6 years, and then I moved to here, and I've been out here since. And we're thinking about maybe getting out.
Oh, yeah, where?
Yeah, you made a video about Austin. That's what we were gonna.
Yeah.
we kind
I
of
made it
talk
about
about
the
I
that.
want to live
magnet.
outside of Austin.
Yeah.
I'm really over big city living.
Yeah.
I really just because I do need that. I do. Who's I
Moved to
talk?
Topanga.
I live in Tarzana right now,
Okay.
and I like it, but
Yeah.
I'm still it's too congested to me.
Yeah.
My kids don't know any of the neighbors' kids.
Right.
It's just
Yeah.
too like People isolate too much.
I see.
I want where you get to know your neighbors and stuff like that.
Topanga's like that. It's like a 50s American town.
buddy
We have
of
our
mine
little
moved
thing.
to
Like I know
Topanga.
when I go out to there's like 5 restaurants. So if you go out, there's always the parents of the kids. There's always the other kids. It's a real like old. It's crazy. It's
I want to
stupid
live
expensive.
just outside of L.A.
Yeah.
Where it's just like
got a town
shits
for
the
you. I'll tell
fans.
you off the
I'm
air.
the first one on the 101 or the
Yeah.
405 out of town. That's
Okay.
what I want.
All right.
Do you have a bug out plan, Van?
I have. Okay, so you know this guy Victor Davis Hansen?
No.
Okay, he Hoover Institute. He's a professor. He's like I think the Hoover Institute is at Stanford. He's like a 5th generation Californian. He's a world class college professor. He's written 50 books or something like this. He wrote a book, and he's like and he's a podcaster. He does really well, and he wrote this book called I think it's called The End of. Is it called The End of Everything? And it's about Carthage, Constantinople, Thebes, and Aztec empires. It's about those 4 empires, and there are so few shit hits the fan, everything collapses examples from history. It almost never happens.
Interesting.
Like every city is still around. Almost every. It's
just-
unbelievably rare.
What do you think? The power structure just changes?
I mean, you have things where it feels like, I mean, maybe for 5 or 6 years or 10 years. Like, imagine you're a Jew in Poland, or you're in the 20s and 30s, or you're a Jew in Israel in the 20s and 30s. It feels like it's the fucking end of the. It is the end of the world.
Yeah.
Right.
And if you're anyone in Germany in the 1920s, late 1920s, when it's 1,000% inflation. But the like collapse, like Mad Max stuff. It's not gonna happen.
You don't think it's gonna happen?
I mean, my grandfather bought this big spread up in Maine. They were living in Providence. He had 8 kids. He bought this big spread. My brother says he bought it because he was broke. I think he was doing like back to the land shit because it was like the nuclear age and all of that stuff. And there was a big hip thing in the 50s and 60s of that. But it like kind of destroyed his family. He had 6 daughters and 2 sons. And they went from this beautiful little suburb in Rhode Island to the woods. And this is where I was born.
And they didn't want to, and
it just destroyed them. These were like literally beautiful girly girls. And like, it was like, it's hard, rugged people up there. And they just didn't. And I kind of think it was for nothing. They could have just stayed in Rhode Island. But I have a friend who moved from New York City, and he bought a big spread in Michigan. It's like an apple orchard and stuff. And he's doing all this stuff.
Dude, there's a castle for sale in Michigan.
A
and my
castle?
baby's mama's whole family, she wants to go out to Michigan, but she always sends me these crazy ass houses that you think would be way more expensive
Yeah.
than they should be.
Yeah.
But a castle, dude.
Yeah.
That's great.
But
You
I'll
see
tell
the
you
stuff
what.
I send you. I mean,
I'll tell you what. They closed the roads. I'm just talking about preparation. They closed the roads in Topanga a couple of weeks ago, and they closed them like ahead of time because they said the winds were going to be so severe that the sheriff's department's only letting residents up Topanga Canyon Road and Topanga Canyon Boulevard. I went that night and I bought like a steel 3 horsepower chainsaw.
Yeah.
And the chaps and the helmet thing. And I was like, because when I was a kid, this is a man thing that I have vivid memories of. I grew up on the Rhode Island border of Connecticut on the coast, and every summer ended with a giant hurricane. And I just remember we would be like driving through the woods, and we would stop. We would get stopped. And there's never traffic. It's the middle of nowhere, and there'd be traffic. And we'd stop, and at the front of the traffic would be an old fucking Chevy pickup, and a guy would get out of it and he'd take the chainsaw and he would cut he would cut the tree and pull, and like tow it. I have tow straps too. Tow it out of the way. In my Land Cruiser, I have a battery 18-volt angle grinder in case there's fire in Topanga and the 2 roads. There's only 2 roads in Topanga. In case they're blocked, my son and I have taken our dirt bikes and we've done all of the fire roads that get you out of Topanga. However, they're locked. There's gates that are locked with padlocks. So I have an angle grinder. It can cut through in 30 seconds.
Bang, bang,
Zzz,
bang,
yeah,
bang,
battery operated.
bang,
And then
bang.
we have a Land Cruiser and like a
You're living the
purpose-built-
life I dream of. I always tell, let's get
Topanga.
some dirt bikes.
Just move
let's
to
get the
Topanga.
hell out of here.
Come visit me. You'll be
I'm
like,
not
I'll
against
just move
it, dude.
here. I'll just
I'm not
move here.
against it. I'm addicted to the weather here.
Yeah.
That's my whole thing. Like I'm looking
See,
at
I could take or leave it. I don't care about the weather really.
So wait, did you tell me where you were thinking of going?
there's a couple places. Like I always think about where
outside
Johnny
of
wants to go,
Austin.
North Carolina. Outside of Austin.
Okay.
Outside of San Diego.
Okay.
You know, because I just love the weather.
Borrego Springs, have you ever been there?
No.
Oh,
Where's
man.
that?
It's this desert. Oh, wait. I made a video about that. Do you remember the one where at the end of the mystery is like, I think that the guy killed himself in the room? I don't know if
I don't think
I'm
I've seen that one.
assuming
No.
you've seen all-
I've seen about 70% of them,
Okay.
I'm sure. But it's
all right.
not
There's
that
this
one. I
one.
don't think.
This is a big moment for Johnny.
Okay.
Yeah, we're very happy
Right,
to have
very
Thank you for your
excited.
patronage, by the way. He's one of my patrons.
He's trying to act cool, but he's
Yeah.
very
No,
excited.
I'm stoked. Yeah.
It's very
very
cool.
excited.
Very cool. And you
Very-
guys, I should say this because before I don't know. I'm in no rush, by the way. You can keep
Okay.
me as long as you
Okay,
want.
okay.
But are your kids still in gymnastics?
Yeah, they do. Right now, my daughter does gymnastics, soccer, which I forced her to do, and then she ended up loving it.
Okay.
And she dance.
Yeah, and because I was listening to the before the election podcast, and you were like running late to pick them up from gymnastics.
Yes, yeah.
So I'm sensitive to that.
I love putting them in I really want them in martial arts. She has a default setting of no, I don't want to. And
Yeah,
then
you might not be able to make it happen then.
well,
But if you taught them,
yeah. I
Yeah,
mean,
yeah,
like, here's
yeah.
the thing: if I go, you're doing this, we're going, and then she does it, she loves it.
yeah, okay.
So it's like we're gonna have to feel it out on the stuff.
resistance.
Yeah,
right?
It took
Yeah, kids
months
have to.
before my boy would even like go on the mat. It took a long.
We're gonna
time.
have fun with it. We'll see what happens. She's the problem with her, and it's not really a problem. It's just a growth thing. It's like she's too smart for her age right now.
Yeah, but she's only 4, right?
Yeah, but
Okay.
she's super smart.
Okay.
Like she's super smart.
Okay, we don't have that problem.
and she's aware of stuff. So it's like
Okay.
she's just trying to. It's like when Cyclops learns his secret power. You know, he's like he's got to
Okay.
learn how to manage it. Same thing with Flash and stuff like
Yeah.
that. But
Okay, Borrego Springs.
Where is it?
Okay, so it's in San Diego County, and it's the desert, and it's out. It gets really amazing during super blooms, but it's also
how far away is it?
It's about 2.5, 3.5 hours, something like that. But it's a cool drive, like through the mountains and like all this craziness that you didn't know.
Oh wait,
existed
did you
in
make a video
California.
about this place?
Yeah, it's where
That motel out there?
Yes.
Yeah, oh yeah. Dude,
Yeah,
it's
and we
beautiful.
found this
It's
like
beautiful.
abandoned motel. I mean, it's a fucking special place. I've been
I
going
would
there for a
love
long
to own a
time.
motel, dude.
And it's like an
Own a
old
motel?
hotel where like Marlon Brando stayed there.
Someone
Marilyn
abandoned
Monroe
it?
stayed there. No, but I stayed there. We stayed there on like I think it was New Year's Eve, and it was $149. And they have a pool. They have a hot tub. They have a. I don't want to throw shade, but they have a very bad steakhouse.
What makes it bad? Overcooked?
Just the service. I think something on our particular night. I think a bunch of people didn't show up to work.
Oh snaps!
And it was
Chaos.
It was unbelievably like 2 or 3 hours.
Restaurant
to get a steak. A
business
steak
is
takes
so
8
hard.
minutes. Yeah, that's
So
what I grew
hard.
up with.
So hard,
My father
dude.
sold
One
restaurant
day,
supplies.
just
Yeah.
all of a sudden, you're on the outs, and a restaurant could be killing it for one day, and then the next year it's dead, and nobody's going there. It's just
The margins are like 5%.
Yeah, and now this governor keeps wanting to raise wages on everybody. It's like so hard, dude. It's so hard.
California hates small business.
They
want a
feudal
Texas.
system. They want a feudal system.
You
They want the super rich and the super poor, which sucks.
They're getting it.
And I feel though, well, here's my theory, dude.
Yeah.
Next 4 years in California, going to be amazing.
I think so too.
Because Newsom wants to be president.
Yeah.
Okay.
And his
So
only
he's gonna
hope
clean up.
is to change the view of California.
That's what he did when China came to visit. Remember?
Yeah.
Yes.
So
She was here?
listen.
Yes.
So last Tuesday we did our comedy cast at the Comedy Store. Dana and I, we're just driving home. It's about 11 at night.
Yes.
Dana goes, "Holy shit!" I go, "What?" She goes, "Where's all the homeless people?" I go, "What?" She goes, "I can't see any homeless." So we're driving down Sunset. We're like, "Okay, we're gonna see some homeless people." Nothing.
It's funny.
Then we turn down. We go up. Cahuenga. We go up that. No homeless person. One guy standing under overbridge. I'm like, where are they? I mean, dude, because I lived in Hollywood forever. You would have like multi-layered, multi-leveled, like they would have penthouses and shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gone.
Yeah.
Gone. And I'm like, what is happening? And I just feel that like the Democrats are like, okay, we got to turn this around. And like Newsom's like, we got to turn it around so that when I make
Whatever
a run,
it takes. I hope they start getting competitive. I hope they start getting competitive and start being like, a little bit more law. What's it called? Law and order.
Yes.
Remember
Well, I
when that
saying-
was a thing?
Yeah.
You need basically 4 or 5 pillars in a society must be respected at all times. You must outlaw violence, outlaw stealing. You must protect children at all costs, and we must shame lying. You have to have those basic things right there.
Yeah.
If not, your society cannot function.
Right.
And I'm an old school liberal, but one party, now both parties are bad, but one seemed to really lean into that stuff, which destroyed a gorgeous city like San Francisco.
Unbelievable. What a crime.
Destroyed it. I mean, like, I used to go there for the culture and the people and even like when you knew something up when they started getting rid of the Tenderloin, which was like the super shady area.
Yeah.
You got to have a place where the wild things roam, where everyone could get fucking kind of weird, and then you had the business areas. You need all that. That's what makes California beautiful. And you can't go, we don't need law and order because it's institutional bigotry. You can't do that because people are going to keep getting weird. You need to have consequences for your actions. Like when you have, okay, we're going to legalize drugs. Now we're going to give away free drugs. You've taken away part of the reason people don't want to get drugs, which is it's against law and they're hard to find. Right? They like to be a drug addict. You had to find a way to get drugs.
Yeah.
If you make it easier, that it's pure chaos. You have to have rules to this shit.
Although I remember seeing this story on like 60 Minutes when I was a kid. So this was in the 90s. And in Switzerland, like in Geneva, Switzerland, I'm going to say, they had a really bad heroin problem. So what they did was they institutionalized heroin addiction. So you would just get like a little card if you're a heroin addict, and you would go to this like government office, and like twice a day or however many times you needed it, you would go and get pure pharmaceutical grade heroin. This was also during AIDS, like pure pharmaceutical grade heroin in brand new hypodermic needles administered by a nurse, and so many people quit because it was too boring. But they are Swiss. These are Swiss people. These are not Americans.
Yeah. Well, we have a different thing. We have a weirder thing where this is a very special country, and I don't think they want us paying attention to how it operates. They want to keep us unhealthy, misinformed.
I think the thing that is our weakness, America's weakness, and it's also one of the things that's great about it, is like we really place a super high value on money. And then we also make it the best place in the world to make money, and you're allowed to make as much as you can, which I'm for all of those things.
Yeah, me too.
And I think that money is an incredibly wonderful invention, and it's an amazing technology, and almost all of the great stuff of the 20th century we've got because people were, essentially trying to make money.
Incentivized.
Yeah.
That's the beauty of this area.
But it also can be a weakness.
Everybody's like, I'm watching this thing where like Chinese kids are like putting clocks together and all that stuff. And I go,
Clocks or Glocks?
Glocks. They're putting like guns
Handguns.
together.
Okay.
Interesting.
And I'm like, okay, that's great. But then tell me why they got to steal all of our inventions.
Yeah.
How many
It's
Nobel
legal.
Peace Prizes do they have?
Yeah.
It's just like you can't, you can over-regulate children, but you also got to kind of let them be themselves.
American kids know how to take apart and put together Glocks. Come on.
Some? I mean, like, have you seen the videos where the kids are like,
I haven't, but that's terrifying. Yeah.
the school, I mean, like, we're going to be fine. I just think, like, I'm really excited for RFK. I'm very excited to see what he can do.
Yeah.
Because when you find out, like, there's all these chemicals are in our food that isn't in other people's foods,
Yeah.
and you go, why is that in there?
Yeah, why?
It's very
I go,
basic.
I
It begs
go,
the question.
I go, it's to keep us unhealthy so we don't. Cause
No, it's for money. It's just cheaper to give that shit, and you can get people to buy more and more. You can make the food. I think you can make the food more and more addictive.
Yeah,
my
it's
only
addictive.
And it's
pushback
cheaper to make
against
if you
that
put that shit in it.
is that the same food is sold all the other places without all the chemicals in it. Why is it just here? Why is just our country?
Well, you think it feeds pharma and healthcare? Is that what you're saying?
I think it feeds
makes people
pharma,
sicker? Okay.
healthcare. I think they want us not being able to understand how everything works, and that's a conspiratorial thing, which this show isn't about right now. So, but the point is, like I think we're fine. I think we're fine.
We're fine.
I think America is great. I do think that if I love a paranoid society. I think it's good to question authority. I think up to a point, it's good to keep your eye on the ball and doing what kind of you're doing, which is working on a local level, setting stuff up, having bug out bags, all that stuff. But, teaching the children, finding out what the school board's all about, finding out what the county boards, all these boards for your county, what are they doing? What the city council doing? All that stuff. I think that's important.
But I also think it would be an amazing prank to relocate the homeless people and camp them out in front of all the city council members' houses.
When I see people, so what would happen?
If I was a billionaire, I would just do that. I'd have a bus that would pick them up and drop them out in front of the city council people who voted to allow them to camp on the street.
Or so they would up on La Cienega was over there, Coengo over here, right?
Yeah.
That's Coengo over here. There would be this underpass where they would clean it up, and then over time, it would just become just a community.
Yeah.
And there, but for the grace of God, I'm a drug addict.
Yeah.
I could easily have been there. I found my friends in there before.
Okay.
I've tried, dude, what's going on? They just can't get out of their own way. You can't save anyone who doesn't want to be saved. But what would happen was once it got big enough and crazy enough, and would come to the city, knock it all down, and then, of course, there were some people protesting and yelling at them not to take it down. And I always said, take those people, put them right in front of their houses. Those people that are protesting those stuff, take them and let them set up right in front of this person's house.
It's like that. Did you see the prank video with the
on
guys
your last
going around?
podcast that I was listening to where they had that fake questionnaire thing and it had the name of the refugee they were going to put in. Thank you for putting the signs up.
Do that. Do that. See how it goes. It's when Martha's Vineyards, they're all super progressive liberals until they took illegals there, and then within 30 minutes they were all shipped off.
And don't get me wrong, it's not a simple problem. I mean, there's no simple solution to this.
There's none.
It's so complicated.
The biggest problem you're going to always have is if you have people whose job it is to fix a problem, what happens to those jobs once you fix the problem? You have to incentivize them to get it done and not to extend it. That's why like Gavin Newsom's like, send us your homeless. We'll take care of them. You're like, because you don't want the problem to go away because everyone's cashing
Well, did you see him walking through Skid Row the other day? All these homeless people were trying to come up to him and then engage with him, and he just was like,
say what you want. Say what you want about the Unabomber. He talked about that. It's like it's not empathy. It's actually they look down on you, dude.
Do you ever listen to the What If Alt Hist guy?
No.
He's like 24. Do you know who I'm talking about,
I don't.
Johnny?
No.
Oh, his name is Rudyard Lynch. And he's a young guy, but he's read thousands of books. He's from Pennsylvania. I think his parents are Russian. And he's Gen Z, right? But his parents, I think, are immigrants. So he was raised like a Gen Xer.
Yeah.
So he's like, if we were living in this time, so, there was nobody home when he got home from school, and he's just an insane bookworm. And he talks about like you would love this guy. He's super, the thing about young people,
I love these
they're in touch with the world. Like when you're young, when you're in your 20s, you kind of feel the world. You can feel the world. I'm not, and he has a whole thing about the coming civil on the verge. Are we on the verge of a nuclear war? He has a thing about the coming civil war. He has like $1,000 bet he has a bet with somebody that 1,000 people will die in a civil war before April.
Oh, really?
But he's very good at summing up why all of this stuff. He's very good at summing up like why Gavin Newsom doesn't talk to the people and why it's all and why. And it's not conspiracy stuff. He just has examples from history. He's like a real history nerd.
I'd love to interview him.
He's great.
But
He's great. I love
see,
this guy.
I'm
And he's a
doing
kid.
jokes about this right now. It's like, who's the Civil War going to be between? It's going to be
Yeah.
between who? It's not going to be geography.
and the military.
It's going to be between ideologies, which is right versus
Right.
left. So it's rednecks versus who? Furries?
It's the country
Like,
versus
who's
the
fighting?
city. It's the country versus the city.
Yeah, and like, dude,
we're in a civil war.
It's gonna happen. Well, dude, I personally believe that, here we get into conspiracies, but these big cities are free range reservations. We just don't realize it. If you study what they did to the natives, they do the exact same thing here. You just don't realize it.
What do you mean free range? What?
Free range reservations.
What
if
is
you
that?
study what they did to the natives, it's happening here in America, in these big cities, which is saturate them in drugs and alcohol, take away jobs from men, and empower women. And that's what happened to and you just get these guys the men of the natives felt they had no place. They killed off all the buffalo. They made it so they couldn't work. And they just killed it. And then these guys were lost.
Broke their spirits.
Broke their spirits. And that's, you're hearing how many YouTube videos, young men are lost. They're pulling out from society. Yeah. That's all done on purpose. It's demoralization.
I think we're turning a corner on that.
I
do
think
too.
we are too.
You got
but-
Trump at the UFC.
Yeah.
And then have you guys ever seen anything remotely like that? Like a president of either party, whatever, with, I think Teddy Roosevelt was like this.
Yes, he
But
was.
like he's bringing his cabinet to a fucking
Wild.
cage fight.
Crazy.
So
And
crazy.
these political figures, like, remember when we were kids? Like, I didn't know who the secretary of anything was. No, we never talk politics. These people walk into the place, fucking erupts. People are because we all know, like, Tulsi Gabbard and RFK were my people. Like, that's who I wanted.
Yeah.
Me
And
too,
then
man.
this guy's like, oh, we'll take them. Like, what? What are you doing?
Yeah.
He's a Democrat.
Yeah. Well, the whole cabinet's Democrat. Were at one point Democrats, and now they're all on the Republican
So
Party.
was Trump too. I mean,
Yeah, I
Oh,
mean
yeah,
that's
that's
what I'm
right. Trump
saying.
was
The
a
whole
Democrat.
group was.
Yeah.
The whole.
What do you think of this Hesgeth guy? You heard him on the Sean Ryan show?
The guy
The
head of the
Secretary of Defense.
Yeah. Listen, dude. This is how I play it. I expect the worst, hope for the best.
Yeah.
Like, I'm 52 years old. I've been let down by a lot of people.
Yeah.
But I do believe so. Everything is inverted, man. And there's an old Buddhist thing that like 1% can change the masses.
Right.
But the inversion with our culture has
this
been
kid
like
says. Yeah.
the 1% controls the masses. It's actually the opposite. And I think that you're seeing a giant wake up to what is going on. And I'm going to say this, that, there were just super cultural Marxists in the Democrats, and I think we successfully killed that off. And I think there are warmongers in the Republican Party, and I think we might have to kill that off.
Yeah.
Because I think people now are focusing on, okay, we've seen what the Democrats wanted to do. It didn't work for us. Now we're going to give the Republicans a chance. And if they pull some shit we don't like trying to, I know that Biden's getting us into World War III, trying at least. But, if they continue on this, I think regardless of what people think of the internet, I think it's a God-given gift, and it's given us the ability to come together and be like, no, we don't want this anymore.
Yeah.
We don't want war. People aren't joining the military. They're always like, 70% of the kids aren't even healthy enough for the military. Well, 70% of the kids don't want to join the military because you make them feel like they're fucking stormtroopers.
That's what Sean Ryan said. He's a Navy SEAL.
Yeah, they don't want to. They don't want to go curb stomp brown people. Now, we've been sold forever on the. I'm reading this book right now by Don Jeffries, and it was talking about Abraham Lincoln and the Mexican War. Like, the thing that you're hearing happening in Gaza right now, dude, that was happening in Mexico. The U.S. government was going into Mexico and doing god awful things. So the difference now is now we know. Now we hear it. Now we understand like what happened with Iraq with us killing 4 million people. And nobody acts like that's a genocide. Like, bro, maybe our country lost its way because karmically we did something very bad.
based on a lie. I mean, the lie at its core was, this idea of WMD. Which
Yeah,
was just,
yeah.
That's why when they were bragging, the Dems were bragging that they had the Cheneys on their side.
Yeah, it's like,
It's like so
What? No.
unself-aware.
No.
So to the point where I wonder if they threw the game for Trump. I mean, they threw it for Obama's.
That
first
could
term.
not have helped, though, right? We all agree. There's no way that got them. That hurt them more than anything.
Well,
having
Dick
the change,
Cheney
right?
lost her own state. Like you're
yeah.
running a
Liz.
loser. Like,
Yeah.
Is Liz Cheney his daughter or his
Yes,
wife?
his
It's
daughter.
his daughter.
and then
Okay.
you listen to The View talk to her like she's a good person. You're like, what are you doing, dude? But I do believe there's a chance for, and I do believe that the one thing you can do
Yeah.
is manipulate Trump through energy.
Meaning,
Trump reads his tweets. Trump
Oh, I
reads
see.
what people are saying. It is important to him.
Yeah.
His legacy is set.
Is that good or bad?
I think it's good.
oh,
I
okay.
think he listens to people more than anybody else.
Have you ever seen the Adam Curtis documentaries? Oh, you gotta. These you will love.
You should you should put out like
these.
all these docs that people should watch.
Okay.
You should
These.
through your phone.
Have you seen these, Johnny?
I'm looking at them now. I think I've seen.
Okay.
Oh, he's
this
English,
guy.
right?
Yeah.
Hold
Okay.
on,
So
hold
this
on,
is
hold
what he is. He works at the BBC. Okay, and he makes these documentaries, and it's basically his take on what happens when all these power phenomena try to play with the levers of society.
on. Oh, hypernormalization. I've seen
Right.
that. Yeah.
And then it's basically about unintended consequences.
I love that.
And but he thinks like we do, and it's unbelievable how he puts in perspective. Before Trump was elected, he came out with a video called I think it was called Bitter Lake, but I get them all confused. It might have been called Hypernormalization, and he basically parallels the story of Bashar al-Assad and the story of Donald Trump. This is before Donald Trump won the presidency. And it was like a month. It came out the October of 2016. And it's his take on, you will love these. And they're really easy to watch. Excellent music. And then his editing style, he picks all the stuff from the cutting room floor. And his newest one is just, there's like no commentary except for titles occasionally, and it's about the experience of the collapse of the Soviet Union from like 1991 maybe to 2005, or maybe it was like 1985 to 2005. It's something like that. So you get to see the whole thing, and then you get to see why Putin. But it's just footage from the BBC shooting in Russia, like a BBC. Their news teams shooting in Russia, and like there's a lady who goes from like Siberia all the way to like the city, like 1,000 miles to get a bag of potatoes to bring back to her sister. It just shows the hopelessness, the horror of that, and then you see why. You can understand why Putin has so much support, because he brought them out of that. You know, he recovered. I'm not a Putin apologist. I'm just
Buddy,
saying.
you don't even need to say that.
I'm just saying, there's this. Have you seen Fog of War?
I loved
Yes,
it.
yeah.
Okay, remember his
Changed
first
my
rule?
views.
His first rule?
What is it for?
Empathize with your enemies. You
I think we've gotten away from that.
You have to put yourself in the shoes of your enemies.
The Fog of War is the best best movie, because he's
I
like,
think so.
he's like, in Gulf of Tonkin didn't happen.
Yeah.
Thought it did. It didn't happen.
He
I go,
was like-
oh man, that guy's a guy who just saw some shit, and at the end of the day wanted to get out. And that's the whole thing. Like, I've lost a lot. I don't know. I've been kind of isolated because I'm a conspiracy theorist. I didn't mean it.
Yeah.
It just is something that picked up, and
Yeah.
people gravitated to it, and people loved it, and a lot of people didn't like it. And no matter how much I'm right, they still remember that time where they thought I was a crazy person. But I it's like I was having a conversation with my friend about just all these conspiracies, and it's just like I can't be quiet. But the reason I bring that up is because when you go, I'm not a Putin apologist, and I go, man, something about the Russians. It's just like the shit that's been done to them over so many years.
Yes, they're
and
traumatized nation.
They never get any of our sympathy ever, and it just blows me the fuck away. And I have this argument with Brian Callen all the time because he wants to make Russia this big bad dude, and I go, compare what Russia's done the last 30 years to what America has done.
Yeah.
And it's like you have looked through a lens of propaganda, and it's just like, I can separate everybody from their rulers. I can separate the masses from the power structure. because I know in my own country, I've been against every single military operation that our country has done since I realized that was a thing. Because I am pro-human, right? And I can separate me from my leaders because, I think the world is begging for America to be back in its position at the top of the mountain with hope, because they consumed our culture, they consumed our everything. They loved us. They consumed our products and our culture because we represent something they couldn't get at home. And after 9/11, we lost our way. And I think people want, dude, can you tell me who the fucking Chancellor of Australia is? I don't know, but for some reason, their news runs our news. They listen to our news. What happens here goes out on their nightly news.
Here's another thing about America that you don't really realize about America unless you leave America and go to other places. I was with my brother and a couple of friends after we climbed Mount Kilimanjaro. We were in Dar es Salaam, Tanzania. And Tanzania is one of the richer sub-Saharan African countries. And this place was fucking, just because I'm from where I'm from, this place, because it was poor, it looked very terrifying. It looked very scary. And I remember but the people are unbelievably, they're Africans. They're unbelievably charming and funny and cool. So this guy, and we're white people, so we stand out and we're like kind of exotic, interesting. And this guy, and of course everybody speaks English there. Everybody speaks Swahili. Everybody speaks English, no matter how poor they are.
It's the language of money.
This guy's talking to us, and he came in our cab. He was a cocaine trafficker, this guy. He came in our cab just to ride along with us, and he was talking. He's like, my dream is to go to New Jersey. He's like, my cousin lives in New Jersey. And you're like, oh my God, that's right. Everyone in all of these countries, all of these third world countries, I guess I say developing countries, they all have a cousin that lives in America, aunt lives in America. The whole world is connected. We have refugees from Iran.
Yeah.
The whole world. And I know a guy and he moved to America. So it's not just a dream from television and all that stuff. It's a dream because their idiot cousin went and moved to New Jersey. Now he's working with Wyclef Jean. You know what I mean?
Yeah, 100%. It is opportunity.
We can't lose that.
Everything I ever learned in recovery, our modern culture goes against. Everything, which is you are where you are based on the decisions you've made and the actions you've taken.
Yeah.
And our culture lets you blame everybody for where you want to go. So when people come here, I'm not against immigrants. Even though we have some crazy stuff, Venezuela just emptied their prisons into us. This was all done on purpose.
Cuba did that that's what Scarface was about.
Yeah.
Sending all their craziest. I get it. I'm not against people coming here.
None of us are.
No,
nobody is against immigrants.
Yeah,
one.
Our families were all immigrants at some point.
No, I don't even think Native Americans are against immigrants.
We have to have two things. We have to have rules on who gets in.
Yeah,
just so we know. And the second rule is when you come here, you assimilate in.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Listen. If you were born in Mexico, you were born in America, and your parents were Mexican, and you root for the Mexican soccer team. That's fine. Yeah. I don't care.
Although that's the thing I have the biggest problem
with. It is annoying. It's annoying.
That we can't have a home
but
soccer
I don't
game
care.
here. Yeah.
But you're not doing clitorectomies in my country because it's illegal.
Yes. Yeah.
I don't care what they're... And the Jews have... that's written in the Torah.
What?
Is that the country... The rules of the country in which you are hosted supplant the rules of the Torah.
Respect.
You are... You know what I mean? You are subject to those rules above... our rules.
So I'm down with that. It's don't bring that Sharia law here. Don't bring any of that shit from other countries.
We're not saying you can't have a Koreatown though. No, Koreatown's great. The food's great.
We let the Chinese have a Chinese town. Okay.
Yeah, that's true.
And they don't ever rent to white people. And we're like, okay, dude, that's your way.
Try getting a tea time here without dealing with the Koreans.
But there are rules here, and the rules are we have a Western culture that respects each other. Now. We have to stop from the extremists on the far progressive thinking everything traditional is bad. No, we're just with culturally or computers, AI, we're only going to go so far. Stop trying to push us into the really far away. Stop trying to change everything I can for a small fraction of the people. But when you come here, you join us. We don't
And
change
most
for you.
immigrants that I've seen want to.
Yeah,
They're
100%.
dreaming.
That's why you're here. That's why you're here. But if you force people to kind of defend themselves, then they start to get tribal.
Yeah.
So just, that's it, dude. I think the world's great. I think Trump, obviously I have black pill friends that are talking about all this shit about Elon and all this shit about Trump. And I go, thank you. I'm going to keep an eye out for that. But I'm just going to do the same thing I do with the Las Vegas Raiders every season. I'm just assume we're going to win the Super Bowl. 3 weeks in, the train goes off the tracks.
Yeah.
But going into it, I have high hopes. I thought Gardner Minshew was
Why
going to be
the
the guy.
Raiders? If you're from, how come not like Buffalo?
Well, Buffalo's my second team.
Okay.
Because all my family loves them. But
Okay.
I always liked the bad boys. I grew up in upstate New York, in Syracuse area, and I discovered basketball through Patrick Ewing and the Georgetown Hoyas,
Right.
which had no white guys on it. And my whole dream as a child was to be the first white basketball player to play for John Thompson. Okay?
Yeah.
Then I got cut from my 8th grade basketball team, and that dream died hard.
Yeah.
But that's what I love. Bad guys. I've always loved the when they come in, everyone booed, and it really fucked my stand up for a while because I just love to go up there and just here we go and just burn everything down. And I still have that. Which makes me different than most of the other comics. I like to press. I like to push it. I like to have the uncomfortable. I want people to get comfortable with the uncomfortable.
But your audience must love you.
They love
you for
it.
that.
Sometimes
Yeah.
my stamp goes a little too far for them, but I can't change who I am. I'm 30 years in.
30 years.
30 years. Started at 22 years
Wow,
old.
good for
Next
you,
month.
man.
This month. 30 years.
Did
30
you,
years.
did you started in
I
Vegas?
think
or
I
did you
actually
start before you
decided
came out?
today was the 30-year anniversary. What's
That's crazy.
16th?
That's crazy. Yeah.
Yeah?
No, I'm sorry. Today's the 18th.
Oh, 2 days ago was I decided on November. I don't remember a specific day. I remember it was November.
Was that in Vegas or did you start before you
Las
came out?
Vegas. Okay. I went to Vegas thinking it was a great place to start stand-up. It wasn't, but it was perfect for me because I was too much of my father when I was very early. So I was just scorching.
Did you find when you were coming up and you were developing as an artist that you had to let go? You had to become more virtuous in order to keep the success going? You had to be better about being on time. You had to be better about,
listen,
you know what I mean? Like
I
that,
always say
all that
this.
stuff.
Yeah. I always say this.
Yeah.
I'm crazy, but I'm not an asshole.
Okay. I'm an asshole and crazy.
I follow the rules. I follow the rules. Like if
Okay.
you go, here are the rules of the room, I will come in and play within those rules.
Okay.
Because I'm so thankful that you would even hire me at all.
Right.
That I play by the rules.
Okay. And
Like
were
I-
you like that before you started?
Yeah, all the
Oh, you
time.
were? Okay.
But man, when I'm on stage, I'm gonna say whatever the fuck I want, and I don't care how the fuck people react. And you don't want to have me back, I can't change that. But you've given me
That's your
access to-
moral obligation.
Yeah.
You're obliged to. We look to you guys to tell us what the fuck's going on.
Sometimes I don't know, man. It's like a different time, bro. You know, when Carlin and Hicks were around, they didn't get doom scrolled. Like people get read the newspaper, watch the news. That was it. Now
I
it's
think that shit's over. All that cancellation shit's
oh
over.
yeah, it's done.
It's over.
It was never
Because
real.
of the success of.
It was never
I
real.
mean, podcasters put the guy in the White House.
We had a T-shirt. Our T-shirt was "The revolution will be podcasted,"
Oh, that's
and
great.
it's just literally happened.
Yeah.
So we're gonna see. You know, everybody. There's some people who are like, "Oh my God, look at this, look at that." I'm like, you got to give him a chance, and then we'll do to him what we did to Joe Biden if he doesn't do it. Completely pull. I'm like, dude, I have a lot more respect for the right to do that than the left.
Yeah.
Because the left is so much about conformity and showing that you are part of the team, right?
United Front.
Yeah. Whereas the right is they're like, bang, we're out, goodbye, bye, nope. They're more about their virtue.
Except for the neocons, yeah.
Well, the neocons I think are just above all of it.
Well, they're the
That's
same in
over,
both
too.
parties. Yeah.
What?
I think that's over.
Neocons,
too.
neoliberals, I think are done. I think we are done with war.
Yeah?
You know,
Really?
I think
so.
I think
I hope so,
I
too.
think Americans, the population, whether the economy.
Only the dead have seen the end of war.
Yeah, I mean that's a great quote, dude. But you know, I think people are over it, and you know, when you have an economy that is based off of war, drugs, sex trafficking and all that shit, it's not the right economy. And I think people are waking up to it now. And that's my opinion. We'll see, dude.
Yeah.
You know, I agree with you. Like, you know, there are places where pain and suffering is happening right now. And I'm very attuned to that. Yemen, the Congo, Gaza, all that shit. I can't sit here and be quiet about it. You know, I don't maybe necessarily need to be screaming at the rooftops, but I'm not going to co-sign on any pain and suffering ever. There's enough for everybody.
Yeah.
There should be abundance everywhere. There's no need for war. There's no need for any of that stuff. And so when you say like all these empires, it's gonna be interesting why empires change. You know, it's like, did the British Empire end or did it just change?
They last 1,000 years. That's
We
how
have
the fourth turning
750
starts
to go.
out. Yeah, that's how the fourth turning
Let's
starts
go,
out.
bro. I'll be
it's like
dead.
these giant empires, they last like 1,000 years.
All right, I'm
So
in,
we
dude.
got, you know,
I'm all about that. And
Unless you started in like the English Civil War and like the York, the Lancasters versus the House of York in like the 1550s, then we've only got like 450 years.
no, but it's interesting to me, all that stuff. And like, did Rome end or did it just evolve into something else? A church? Did the Bank of England end or did it just evolve? I mean, did the British Empire just evolve into the Bank of England?
No, it evolved into America.
America?
Maybe, I don't know.
I think I think England has a lot more power than people want to believe it does.
The Bank of the banks, the City of London.
The City of London,
Yeah.
the Rome, the Vatican.
Gotta watch these Adam Curtis because he's British. It's all British.
I'll watch all that shit, dude. I love
I'm so
all
jealous
that.
you haven't seen it yet. It's like you might not be able to do other things.
I think you
Once
saw
you crack this
hyper-normalization
open,
a while ago.
Probably.
I think
But
so.
I think we're in the greatest era for information ever. You just
Yes.
have to find the things,
Definitely.
the people you trust, and just don't assume everything you're hearing is real. Run it through
Right.
your common sense
Yeah.
and go, okay, I think it's made us even better. Some people this is just my opinion. The misinformation, disinformation thing is from very rich children who have never felt consequences for their actions.
Yeah.
And now on the internet, they say something stupid. The internet pushes back on it. And that's why they say words are violence, is because words to them are violence because it's the first time since they've been born into the best hospitals, behind gated communities, going to the best schools, getting into the best colleges, getting juiced into internships at the best, most prestigious jobs. They've never felt consequences.
Yes.
Everywhere's got security. They're behind walls, everything. And now on the internet, say something stupid. Like right now, I have a real problem with a lot of what Sam Harris is saying. And Sam Harris is just talking about misinformation, disinformation. I'm like, you're upset because you are saying something and getting instant blowback for it that you never got before. Think about before the internet, what Sam Harris could say, and he would never feel the consequences of it. Now he feels it. Now he thinks there's a problem with misinformation and disinformation. And I'm like, no, dude, it's now you are more connected with everybody more than ever. And things that you are saying, like you don't care if Hunter Biden's discovered with dead kids in his basement, doesn't play well with people, and they're letting you know. So I think we're entering the best time ever. I just need to learn skills.
Okay.
How to fix shit,
Yeah.
how to build shit.
Yeah.
That's all I want to do is fix and build. When I fix a toilet, I get this fucking high.
Did you go on Adam Carolla's show?
Yeah.
He's the fucking king. You know, he says he can't really read.
Oh yeah,
He's like, I can read, but I can't read books and stuff. He just like never learned. God bless him. The guy is so articulate. His brain works
He's
so
so
well.
fast.
He's so smart. He said the coolest thing, and I agreed with this. While
Have
it
you
was
ever been on a
happening.
show?
No.
Would you ever go on it?
Of course.
You want me to
I'm
talk
not
to the
big
booker
enough.
for
I don't
you?
think I'm big enough for his
What are you
show.
talking about?
All right. Well, I would
Johnny
love to go on
loves
his
you.
show. I would love to go on his show. But did you hear the thing he said about? And I was saying this during the campaign when he was talking about. He's like, you don't brag about working at McDonald's. And in my mind, when that was going on, I was like, look, the only business in my town like that you could walk to was McDonald's. I never worked there. I was like, really? Your parents are Berkeley professors, and the best you can do is work at McDonald's?
Yeah.
Like, that's not something to
No.
brag on. And he's the guy, like, I had been thinking that, and then he's the guy who articulated it. But he's a builder. That's how he started out.
Dude, I was on the episode when his dad had died the night before.
Jesus.
And just listening to him, he was 180 from his father.
Yeah.
And just like at some point, he just wanted to tinker with shit.
Yeah.
And he just started fixing stuff and working with shit.
Yeah.
To the point his friends' dads got mad because he was taking all their tools to work on shit.
Okay.
And look where he is.
Yeah.
And, you know, again, it's like.
But he says he still washes his car. And people are like, why don't you hire somebody? But and he's like,
feels
that's
so
not the
good
point.
to wash your own car when you love your
Yeah.
car.
Yeah.
It's the best feeling.
I
in
have
the
this
world.
stuff that you don't need. It's for aircraft, and it's just spray on and wipe it off, and it cleans it, and it kind of. So you don't need the hose and the bucket and all that shit. You don't need to dry it.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I got it on Amazon.
I'm
I
sure
got
they
that
don't want you
purple
using
stuff
it.
for my teeth that takes off the yellow.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, have you ever seen the purple gel you put on your teeth and whitens your teeth?
No, that's interesting.
I'm sure.
I'm trying to figure out how you made that lateral move to.
Well, because he's just
Oh, I see.
spraying
Okay.
Yeah,
and
just
cleaning.
spray it and wax on, wax off.
That's how we're doing it, dude. I'm with you. Adam Carolla's great, but it's like
Where should Stam start, though? He's been talking about this for a long time. He wants to start using his hands more. He
Do
wants
you have
to
any
feel like a
broken?
man.
Anything broken?
No.
In your house?
no,
I'm sure you do. There's got to be something broken. You just throw it away, though, right? If it's broken.
no.
A
But
clock
I
or
need.
something.
I want to start. I want to start building shit.
Do you know how to make a shelf?
No. Should I start
Shelves
with
are
that?
Like, make shelves for all these little guys.
So let me ask
Make a
you.
shelf that's like this deep, and then custom length that you
Okay,
want.
so let me ask you something.
Yes.
So I go to Home Depot. I get like the base.
I made videos about this.
Okay.
Johnny can
Yes.
connect
I'm
you.
a
So I made
lookout.
exactly.
All right.
And that tells exactly how to do it. There's these pieces of hardware that you get from the fasteners aisle, and they're not for shelves, but they're called corner braces. And that's what you use to screw the shelf to the wall. And my video is like, if you have this kind of wall,
And I gotta
use
look for
this, and
studs
this.
in the wall.
Okay. Yes, depending on how much weight is the wall is going to hold, but don't get an electric stud finder. You have to get this stud finder. It's called a Stud Buddy, and it has really powerful magnets in it. And the way it works is you slide it around your wall, and when it hits one of the, it hits underneath your paint, there's a screw holding the drywall to a stud. So it detects the screw that's in the stud.
Okay, now
the
tell
electric
me.
ones don't work, but
Okay.
this thing is bomb-proof.
Yeah,
and
definitely.
and if it sticks to the wall, that's your stud. You just make a little
All right.
pencil mark there.
I wanna
But
do
for
that.
these guys, you don't need that. You can just use. And then there's wall anchors, but there's a specific kind. They're also in the video. They're called Cobra. Triple grip. And that's like the only kind you get. So you get the corner braces, and then you get the corner braces, you get the triple grip Cobras. Get yourself. You can afford. You've got.
You remind me of my
you've got
friend
money.
Gary. He does this.
Get yourself a Milwaukee like 12-volt drill, and the bits and the screwdriver bit with the magnetic holder thing. Right. It's all in this video.
All
It's
right.
all in these videos. And then a pull saw, which is like. It's just a Japanese saw that's really easy to cut through, and then pick out some wood that's like 4 inches deep that you like, and just start making shelves. Make shelves for your girlfriend's makeup. Make shelves for you need shelves. Shelves make you so organized, and they're fast, and they're so satisfying.
My
Get
girl
yourself
loves it
some
when I build
sandpaper
things.
Oh yeah, dude.
she
Does it
loves
get
it
her
when I build things.
excited?
Yeah, she
I
loves
want to
it.
build shit, dude.
and a level. Start with shelves.
All right, I'll start with shelves.
Yes.
Because we might be leaving here, moving somewhere else, but I do want to put all these because obviously we lost Kawhi at some point.
Oh, you should fix that.
I should get some glue and fix
Okay, I'm going to tell you the trick. Okay, so there's this crazy glue gel or gorilla glue. They call it super glue.
Okay.
Crazy glue is a brand name.
Okay.
But the gel kind. Okay, now here's the secret with crazy glue. You need to like lick both of the things that are going to glue together.
Okay.
Because it needs water.
Okay.
Okay. And so you put a little. I'll show you how you'd fix. What's this guy's name?
Kawhi Leonard.
So with Kawhi, you would take, and this is a very specific. Super glue is not for everything. You can't fix sunglasses. You can't if your glasses break in the middle. You can't fix them with super glue.
done.
They're broken.
Oh, I
you need
tried.
to like
I
weld.
tried, yeah.
You need to like a mending plate that you.
What do you think
screw
about
in.
the glasses that Elon Musk War at the fight with the.
Yeah, I noticed that. Yeah, I think he's just like a callback to what was it, Animal House or no,
Okay.
Revenge of the Nerds.
Okay.
Okay. All right. So you put here gel after you've licked it, and then, all right. This is kind of a complex. You've got to build something that holds it in place for a while.
Oh, really?
Yes, and then.
It
But
clicks
here's
in,
the trick.
though. Look,
I'm going
it
to tell you
clicks
the
in.
trick. Oh no, it clicks in. You're good. You're
Oh,
good.
it's already
Okay,
good.
so-
Look at you put it together.
So wait, this is what you do with the crazy glue. With the crazy glue gel, you have in a little dish off to the side baking soda. And you take it when it's perfectly set and it's never going to move again. You take a little baking soda and you sprinkle it like light speed. Bang! It's bonded. It's like cement.
Whoa, bro.
There's whole videos where people make like washers. They make like stuff that's bulletproof using this method. Like, so that's how you'd fix
All
this
right,
guy. That's a
dude.
relatively straightforward one. Yeah, you should start by. You should like
All right.
crazy glue gel. Gorilla Glue makes it. Gorilla Glue gel. And get
Gorilla
your
glue gel.
gel.
All right. I'm not
But
against-
super glue, not
So hold on. So I licked that. I put the glue on.
Yep, you put the
Bang.
glue on this side and this
Where am I
side.
throwing the baking powder?
After it's set exactly how it's
What am
supposed
I,
to be,
LeBron
the
James
glue is
again?
going to leak out the sides. The glue is going to leak out. Leave that. Leave
Okay.
the glue leaking out.
Okay.
It's called a scar of labor.
Okay.
The little
Respect.
seams and
Oh,
shit
This
that
thing
you see.
seen war. This thing seen
Yes.
war.
So that's a scar of your
Thing
labor.
fell on it. Okay.
And then you just, with a little spoon, you just sprinkle, and then just let it set. Don't test it. Don't check it. It'll be.
When you say I'm sprinkling it, where am I sprinkling it? Let's
So
say.
on this, okay. So what's going to happen is you're going to put the gel here.
Yeah,
Pretend it's
and I'm
toothpaste.
putting gel
and
on
put
the-
the gel in here, and then you're going to
Yeah.
stick it in
Okay.
like this.
All right.
And then it's going to ooze. The gel's going to ooze,
gonna let it
a
ooze.
little bit out of the side.
Let it ooze.
So don't touch him.
Okay.
Don't touch his feet. Don't move him.
Okay.
Okay. You're just going to like sprinkle. You can use whatever. You can use a popsicle stick. You can use a knife. But you're just going to try to sprinkle, and it's baking soda. It's almost free.
Around
on the little where it oozed out. You're going to sprinkle it in
Am I
there.
throwing it like that, or am I just
And
grabbing
what that
it?
cures
If
it
you
like
want, you
instantly,
can
is
throw
that-
it. You can use your fingers and throw it. You can sprinkle it.
Bang.
You can, however you want to get it. You can pack it into a straw and go, however you want to do it. And then that's going to make the seams turn into like cement. And then that will enable the glue that's inside the plastic. It takes
I'm
about 2
in.
hours, even super glue. It takes 2 hours to
I'm
dry.
in.
And then in about 2 hours, it'll be.
I'm in.
I just fixed a incense, like a $300 porcelain incense holder doing this method. Sorry, you got to go?
I got a jam here in a
Gymnastics?
second. Yeah.
Let's wrap.
I got a jam.
Oh,
this
we
has
did
been
2
great.
hours.
Yeah,
Great.
we did 2 hours, dude.
That's great.
This has been great.
Ah, thank you so
No,
much.
I'm
I'm
happy.
so honored.
Dude,
Johnny,
I
I'm
love
so
talking
to
psyched.
you.
I
I'm
love
so
talking
psyched
to
that
you.
you
That
brought
was
me
great,
in, guys.
bro. That was an awesome episode.
Yeah,
One more
man.
time, where can they find you?
The Spirited Man on YouTube.
I'm gonna watch all your shit, dude.
Curate for him. Show
will.
him that
I
there's
absolutely
two
will, yeah.
shelf ones. There's like a mini 4-inch shelf that doesn't require power tools, and then there's a bigger shelf that does require power tools. Show them both because they're and they have the list in the description. It has the list of all the tools you need.
I love this.
I will. Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah.
You use that same technique on your car, I believe, right? To repair
Dude,
what?
look how awesome that is.
Yes, that's right. I stole it from a
How
guy
many videos you put out?
Okay, so when I first started, I did 2 a week because it's really, as you know, it's about frequency. And then I just I started destroying my life just to get them done. Then I went down to 1 a week, and now I was doing 1 every other week, and now
Well, I mean, he does his own music.
2 a month about.
But
And I
here's
also
the
have a
thing, dude.
Patreon where I put stuff
I
out
love
every
your
week.
stuff, and I'm gonna watch it. You say people shouldn't start YouTube channels. I think they should, dude.
No, not as a career. Don't go as a career now into YouTube. That's what I'm saying. Everyone should have a YouTube channel.
I think
Everyone.
if you got skill, like a friend of mine is a handyman in Philadelphia, does stand up. I'm like, you should fix stuff and do
Yeah.
videos
Yes,
while
he should.
while you do your stand
'Cause
up
the
and all
Gen
that.
Z kids are obsessed with it.
Yeah.
If you go into a camera shop now that sells film
Your
cameras,
shit's fucking awesome, man.
Oh, it's great. Yeah.
I love this shit.
You would really like it, Sam.
All right. So we'll figure it out, man. This is awesome. I'm down. Man, this is a blessing.
I'm very honored. I love you guys. I mean, you guys are the most. I made a video called "Why Comedians Are the Most Important Artists."
Thank
of our
you, dude.
era. And can I just close with this one thing?
Yes, of
so
course.
everyone said, you have the art of this, the art of that, the
Yeah.
art of shoelaces,
Yeah.
the art of hair.
Yeah.
The art doesn't mean anything that people make, and Leo Tolstoy has, to me, the most resonant definition of art. And art is a medium which transmits an emotion that the creator experienced when he or she was making it to its audience. And that's
totally
why
agree.
I think the stand-ups are the number one top, because you guys are the most important. I want to cry. The
I'm
most
with ya.
important thing, laughter.
Dude, if you could cry, that'd be good for
You
ratings.
do it. You make us laugh. You can fake all the other shit.
I'm
You
with you,
cannot
dude.
fake laugh.
I know I'm old, bro. I feel like some of these kids have gotten a little too corporate, and that they've been scared by cancel culture. It's scared them. So they're doing more of what I would call the corporate gig comedy, where it's like, my wife. And you know, it's so funny. Luis J. Gomez, who I love with all my heart, he's one of the funniest dudes out there. He's like, keep politics out of comedy. I go, I don't know, bro. I think people need to experience what people are looking for, someone to tell them the truth.
It's funny. If
It's
funny,
art. Art
you
is
can't
meant
keep
to have
anything out if
everything
it's
in
funny.
it. It's art. It's like the
Yeah.
politicians. Who are you going to rely on? The news people? It's just not going to
I
happen.
mean,
dude.
listening to Bill Hicks changed my way of thinking about everything. Just in those early in college, you know.
Yeah, because you're also our philosophers.
That's why, dude. Listen, Dana's like, you better not get this tattooed on Sam Kinison's freaking on his grave. It said, "And another time he would have been called a prophet." Sometimes I feel like that.
Yeah.
You know, it's like everything I talked about forever, everyone's opening up to. Even my girlfriend, who loves MSNBC, is like talking about P. Diddy. That was the thing that opened her mind to it. I've always been about that. You know, for me, the thing was when Hacksaw Jim Duggan and the Iron Sheik got busted in the same fucking car drinking. Then I realized everything's a lie.
Yeah.
And from there, I've been like always just kind of, it really started with Santa Claus. But after that, then it just, so
Rick Rubin says that's what's so great about life is that the whole thing is the WWE. He's a big wrestling fan. He's like, the whole thing, we don't know if it's real or fake.
is.
The whole thing, we don't know if it's real or fake. And that's great.
Yeah, I'm with you, dude. I'm with you. All right, this has been
let's
great.
go. Run out. You got to run your errands.
I got a jam. This has been great. Johnny, thank you very much.
Yes, thanks for doing this.
Yeah,
Thank you.
dude.
And you guys,
Thank you,
again,
man.
I got to say, you guys have
Dude,
a
if you
wonderful
want
rapport,
me-
you and Johnny.
If you want me to try to put you, the Booker is my good friend of Adam Carolla.
Is he still in LA or do I
Yeah.
have to travel?
No, he's in Burbank.
I would love that. That would be wonderful.
Okay, we'll just figure it out. We'll make it happen.
That
All
would be
right,
cool.
guys. Appreciate you guys. We'll talk to you soon. Take care. Go to samtripoli.com. Check out my dates. I'm going to be in Tampa. Got a lot of stuff happening. We'll talk to you soon. Take care.